Going on? It's hour one, John and Jim, and it's deja vu all over again. It's back. Padres and Dodgers, first place on the line. We've said it before in the NL West. So we will get you ready over the next 4 hours. And Kevin, of course, will join us. Our Padres insider, Kevin Acey, will join us at 5. There's so much to react to. And you just put out a tweet. I completely agree with you. It's almost as much about the lineup as it is going to be about this game. There's been so much like magnification of Padres lineups. And I get it because since the trade deadline, they acquire Ryan O'Hearn and he doesn't play every day. And tonight it's back to the conversation we had earlier in the week, which is a left-handed starter against the Padres in Blake Snell. So obviously what matters is the end result. You can have any lineup in the world. I don't care who hits in the lineup if they win the game. So they can have any lineup in the world, but it's going to be fascinating to see it. It'll be out, you would assume, within the next hour or so. And then, of course, the real story, Jim, is does anything change? We've gone down this path so many times. Does anything change? Nobody has any clue. We do not know what's going to happen here tonight. I don't know if I can deal with things not changing. Like I just told you that before we went on the air. I'm like, I can't deal with this, man. Like the Padres have got to play well this weekend. To me, it's like nothing else matters. Play well this weekend. But I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll know in 72 hours if they did or didn't.
As far as the lineup goes, I mean, we need something to complain about, right?
100%. 100%. You're right. They've played well. You're right.
So when the lineup comes out, probably around 3:00 is when the lineup will start trickling out. Because that's when doors open to the clubhouse, media gets in there, lineups on the board, and everyone tweets out the lineup. Then Schilt talks around 4-ish or so. So we'll know in about an hour. But yeah, we need something to complain about. and I can't wait to see the lineup because the discourse on it will be exactly what I'm expecting, which will be Mike Schultz a moron. What's he doing? Why is Luis Ariz hitting second in the lineup? Why is Ryan O'Hearn not in the lineup? Blah 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 blah.
Wow, look at that lineup.
Are we boiling it down to that? Are we saying it's basically the one thing that is most interesting is you have Luis Ariz, who again got here with high fanfare a year ago. Mm-hmm. And now this year hasn't lived up to it. He's been fine against right-handed pitching. He's been bad against left-handed pitching. Does this basically come down to the conversation about when Luis Ariz, when you're facing a left-handed pitcher, sit Ariz, you could just have Ryan O'Hearn play the same position. Ariz has performed against left-handed pitching. When we say we can't wait to see the lineup, are we basically saying we can't wait to see if Ryan O'Hearn is in the lineup and Luis Ariz is out of the lineup?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. The one move in the deck is Ariz on the bench, O'Hearn starting.
Right. I think the discourse about lineups every day has to do with, will today be the day that Mike Schilt puts out the best lineup that on paper would be the best lineup?
Right.
The best optimal lineup.
Yeah.
The one that gives you the best chance. When you look at all the numbers and you look at all the splits and you look at everything that factors into what a lineup should look like, will Mike Schilt one day with this new look Padres team, the rest of the season, put together the actual best lineup or not?
So far, the answer against left-handed pitching is definitively no. In terms of just the sheer numbers, he has not played. And by the way, in today's baseball of 2025, there's no rocket science here. I mean, it's as clear as day. You get the information spit out to you. I mean, it's on his desk when he gets there. You know, this isn't like, oh, I didn't realize O'Hearn was hitting lefties. Like, this is right in front of his face if he wants to use it. Now, I understand the circumstance at play. Ariz has been here. They traded for him. He's also a free agent. He's been a 3-time batting champion. Clearly, the relationship between Mike Schilt and Luis Ariz has been a good one, like it is with all of his players. But we've gotten to the point of the year where the LA Dodgers are here. You've had no success against them. Wouldn't you want to give yourself the best chance to succeed on offense? Now, that's not to say Luis Ariz can't be in the lineup and have 2 hits tonight, or 3 hits or whatever. But I'm with you. I think now that it's the Dodger series, now that there's 30-something games remaining in the season, give yourself the best chance to win, especially against a team you can't beat. They have not beaten them. They're 2-10 in their last 12 games. Why not give yourself a 1% better chance? Or more than that?
The lineup is definitely the first talking point, but the bigger talking point over a lineup, over is Ryan O'Hearn going to be in the lineup? Should Luis Ariz sit against lefties, which he should? Like the usage of the bullpen, all. Can they just play better against the Dodgers for once?
Right.
My goodness. Can they go and play better baseball? Because every time they played the Dodgers this year, they've looked like a AAA team. other than 2 games. They're 2-8 against the Dodgers this year.
Mm-hmm.
Can they go out and can they play fundamental sound baseball? Because they haven't done it all year long against this team. And that's the team who you're chasing. That's the team that you need to overtake in this division. And this is your final chance against them the rest of the season. You're not going to face them again in the regular season. You're going to have to hope that the bad teams that they play help you out, right? So this is your last chance to make some movement in the standings here, because after this weekend, you're going to be relying on everybody else.
I think it's less about standings and more about confidence. Like, it's more about prove to yourself this team is one you're capable of beating in a postseason series. They may not meet. We went through the exercise yesterday. I think there's a 1 in 5 to 1 in 10 chance they meet in the postseason. I truly believe that. Why? Because I think the earliest they could meet is the National League Championship Series based on seeding. And I think there's a very likely scenario where either the Dodgers or the Padres aren't in that series. But prove to yourself in the event you meet again, you can beat them. Yes, the division matters. Yes, the standings matter. But what matters more to me is seeing the Padres beat the Dodgers on field. Mm-hmm. It really does right now. I need to see it with my own 2 damn eyes. And honestly, I need to see it tonight. Not that the series is determined tonight, but the narrative only further sets in. Like, now you're back at Petco where you're 20 games over 500. I'm just going down this path. And you can't win at Petco when you're 20 games over 500 in front of your crowd with a real playoff atmosphere. You can't take advantage of another opportunity. How many opportunities do you get in life? They've had so many opportunities here in 2025. I just think tonight's a very big game. I get it. You could lose tonight, win the next 2. And that's preferred to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you could win tonight and not win the series, or lose tonight and win the series. I just think tonight's a big game. Darvish, Snell, playoff-like atmosphere. Prove to yourself you can beat these guys. Stop with this stupid narrative. But it's your fault. It's their fault. They need to beat this team head-to-head.
I don't care what the lineup looks like as long as they win.
Yeah, exactly.
You could bring up Campy and Tyler Wade and put Bryce Johnson in the lineup, right? Put all of these bad players in the lineup. I don't care as long as they win the game. And that's what it boils down to.
Right.
All the little things that we're talking about, they do matter. But what matters the most is, can this team just play better baseball against the Dodgers? You know, can they get off on the right foot this weekend, unlike last weekend when they fell flat on their face and it continued for the rest of that series? So we'll obviously discuss and dive deep into the lineup. We'll hear from Kevin later in the show. We'll talk about, the matchup tonight and everything. What it all boils down to is simple. Can the Padres play better against the Dodgers? Because this is the last time you're going to face them. This is your last chance to directly affect your standings in the National League West against the Dodgers without having to rely on anybody else to help you out. And can you take advantage of it? You're 1 game back. Now you're technically 2.
But it's nothing.
But 1 game back. You take 2 or 3 this weekend. We're talking on Monday at 2 p.m. They're tied in the division.
Yeah, and you would need to outplay them by 1 game in a month. I mean, it's literally nothing. I mean, it's right there for the taking. The whole tiebreaker thing, it's not even today. It's not a conversation. You know when it's a conversation? When it's the last day of the regular season, the 2 teams are tied. You need a Dodger loss and a Padre win. I mean, that's as simple as that. But we're in August. It's not even late September. Right now, it's about winning this series. And right now, it's about, listen, Blake Snell's been very, very good.
He's got a sub-2 ERA.
And since he's come back from the IL in 3 starts, he's actually been even better than he was before he went on the IL. And here's the other thing. Darvish has been very, very not good. Now, he pitched defensively. Because Snell's been very, very good. And Darvish has been very, very not good. I hate to put it that plainly. And I know what people are going to tell me, but John, Darvish is really good after he allowed 4 runs in the first inning. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Right.
I mean, it was not good. The
first inning matters just as much as the other 5 innings that he pitched.
And that's been the story so often with this rotation. Like Nestor Cortez the other day, he was good other than the first inning. Darvish the other day, he was good.
Those runs count.
But baseball's 9 innings in the first. Yeah, so it's like the Darvish thing is a hope and a prayer for me with a 5.97 ERA. And you went through the numbers. 6 of his 8 starts have been bad. So I'm sitting here like, maybe. One out of every 4 coin flips, he's been really good, but the other 3 haven't been very good. And the Dodgers have a fearsome lineup. So I don't know if I should expect what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is the Padres to play well. But is it a fair ask when I watch the way Yu Darvish has been pitching as recently as last week when he got shelled in the first inning by LA?
Yeah. And if you're just looking at his game log this year, he's had 2 good starts. Everything else has been very blah at best. Actually, they've been downright bad. 4 innings, 4 earned runs. 4 innings, 3 earned runs. 3 innings, 8 earned runs. 4 2/3, 4 earned runs. 3 innings, 2 earned runs. Like, he's going to give up runs. Now, you hope tonight he can turn back the clock a little bit. Because I do think tonight, it's a tone setter night. And the tone last weekend after Friday's game was, man, you guys can't beat them. And it played out through the rest of the weekend. Can you go out tonight against a very tough lefty in Blake Snell? And can you set the tone for the rest of the weekend? Because if you can't, if you go out tonight and you lay another egg, and then you got Nestor Cortez pitching tomorrow, like, dude, you're going to have to do some really like Herculean type of, what, to get over that hump here. Because if you don't, and once again, Dodgers are going to, own you guys and make you like their B word. I can't say it, but that's what the Dodgers.
That's what's on the line.
That's what the Dodgers are punking you at every turn. They're embarrassing you at every turn.
At some point, it's got to end.
Can you flip the script here?
By the way, thank you, Josh, on X, who just tagged us. Don't even look at X right now for 1 second.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you something, and I'll die on this hill now. There's no world where Luis Ariz isn't in the lineup, and I, John Schaefer, would write him in the lineup tonight. There is no world where I would not write him in the lineup. Do you want to know why?
I got 2 guesses. Number 1, what he's done against the Dodgers this year, and number 2, he might have good numbers against Blake Snell.
Amazing numbers: 6 for 9, 1,500 OPS. You can't sit him.
Okay, yeah,
because head to head matters.
Yeah,
it like head to head is more specific than someone is a left-hander. He's had specific success against Blake Snell in a Padre uniform, or overall 6 for 9. I think he's got to be in there.
And the question, that's a great stat.
Yeah.
That's a great point. But the where the other players in the lineup are going to be is also the question. Like, all right, Luis Ariz, you're going to be in the lineup tonight. I don't think there was a question even in the first place with it.
Probably true.
But will Jackson Merrill doesn't look like he's going to play tonight or this weekend. So now you have him out. Ramon Laureano probably going to move to center.
Correct.
The one spot in your lineup, actually 2, the DH in left field. What are you going to do there? Are you going to really put Bryce Johnson in the lineup and Jose Iglesias and sit Sheets and O'Hearn? Because that's what it kind of feels like they're going to do against the righty.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're going to discuss that on the other side.
Or sorry, a lefty, my bad.
Against the lefty. We're going to discuss that on the other side. You mentioned Merrill. Will he play this weekend or not? We have some sound from Jackson Merrill in the clubhouse yesterday after the series win against the San Francisco Giants. We have you covered from all different angles here. Padres and Dodgers will play game 1 of their series tonight at 6:40. This massive showdown in the NL West. Once again, Kevin Acee will join us at 5. And when that lineup comes out, of course, we'll share it with you as well. We're just underway. It's Sean and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we all remember that one teacher made a difference, believed in us, challenged us, made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you to Big Way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day, Lori Huntsman, who teaches at Spreckles Elementary in San Diego. People told us over 20 plus years, she has spread her enthusiasm for learning to elementary students from kindergarten through fourth grade. She goes above and beyond. Congrats, Lori. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Congrats, Lori. All right. Can we hear from Jackson Merrill? We have that sound, right, Brett? All right. So Jackson Merrill post-game against the Giants yesterday spoke about the extent of his injury. This starts with an update on his ankle/bone bruise.
It's getting there slowly, but just gotta wait, be patient. I don't got anything for you guys on it or anything right now.
What have you been able to do so far as far as activity of running?
I've just been, taking the days on the downside and trying to get it to reset. That's pretty much it.
Are you more optimistic than you were just a couple of days ago when we first talked to you?
Yeah, spirits are better. More optimistic for sure. Less frustrated, but still getting there, so we'll see.
Do you think there's any possibility that you can play in this coming weekend versus the Dodgers, or you don't know yet?
Yeah, I'd love to. That's all I got is I'd love to.
From what the doctors have told you, is it a structural thing you have to give rest to, or just a pain tolerance thing?
It's more on their side to say. I don't really completely understand it myself. They've done a good job of explaining it, but I'm still kind of just feeling it out, see how it is.
To not be able to out there, watch your guys go out there and continue to win, take three in a row from the Giants. I'm sure it's frustrating not to be with them, but how proud of the other guys are they're picking it up where he left off.
That's what I expect. I don't expect anything different from our guys. They play their asses off, and we're going to keep playing our ass off.
What do you expect the intensity to be like this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be good baseball, and we're excited. Kind of just take it to them, play our game.
Shield said he expects the stadium to be rocking with fans and everything. Do you feel like this is one of the greatest ballparks out there?
Yeah, of course. It's always rocking though, every day. So just good to appreciate it and watch. Fans have been incredible.
Jackson, how do you deal with the frustration of not being able to play, but also at the same time trying to stay locked in with your recovery?
Yeah, I don't hate being on the downside. It's fun to watch my guys play and see it from a different angle sometimes, but I'd much rather see it from center field and in the dugout getting ready to hit.
It didn't sound to me when I heard that, and I listened to it earlier today. It didn't sound to me like he was going to play this weekend against the Dodgers based on just the tone in his voice and the reaction to the question about this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, bone bruise mixed with an ankle sprain, probably going to take more than about 5 days to heal up. That's just my WebMD personal opinion.
True. Now, typically, any injury in the major leagues that takes more than 5 days to heal would put a player on the IL, but we've discussed this. It's a bit of an indictment on the players that are down in AAA. Imagine if you're in that spot, having been there and understanding that unique spot. The difference in the major leagues and minor leagues is one move, and it's a world away. Guys in the big leagues, you're playing for championships. Guys in AAA are riding buses. Guys in the big leagues are making hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. These guys are making a couple grand a month. It's a little bit of an interesting spot, but I understand it. Merrill is important to this team. They don't have a ton of options. They have positional depth that we keep talking about. They can't even get guys on the field, but hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. I would be surprised you don't put a player in the IL if he missed 15 or 20 days. You would think it would be more the day-to-day than week-to-week is what I would think if a player's not on the IL.
Yeah, there's a date on the calendar that if they get to that point and he's still not ready to go, then it's on the IL.
I would think.
Because they're not going to just be like, you know what, we're going to just let this thing ride out for
as long as
a week and a half or whatever and play a man down. But, rosters do expand here coming up in a week. So we'll see what happens there and see what the Padres do. My guess is
they're going to bring two players up. I would think one position player, one pitcher, because I would bring a catcher up.
Campy?
Yeah, I would. I know we've had that covered. Don't you think just because of emergency situations, just to have the additional catcher on your roster, to me, it has value.
Yeah, and their season's going to be over here, so just do it.
But yeah, pitcher like a reliever,
Sean Reynolds.
Sean Reynolds, exactly. A Kyle Hart, maybe a long guy, maybe.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah,
when the rosters expand, you're not going to go and bring up Tyler Wade and Luis Campisano.
No, I would think it maybe be 1-1,
Even
but
though
it's a good point.
Schultz probably banging on Preller's door like, please bring up Wadey for me.
It could be Wade over Campy. I mean, maybe it is at the end of the day.
We'll see. But the main point here is that Jackson Merrill likely not going to play this weekend. I would be pretty shocked if he's in the lineup tonight after hearing him speak and after hearing what Mike Schultz has said about him and how it is a bone bruise and an ankle sprain. Don't know the severity of it, but even if it's a grade 1, it still takes like a week or week and a half, maybe even 2. Like you got to heal that thing up. So we'll see. But they do have enough pieces to get it done. I mean, Jackson Merrill, he's having a down year for his standards, for sure. This is a sophomore slump year, if you want to call it that. I think it's fair to say now. And, Ramon Liriano, where would this team be without Ramon Liriano, right? And Ryan O'Hearn. Without those two guys to put in the lineup, and then Gavin Sheets, that they've really stepped up here in the last week without Jackson Merrill. Because, earlier in the year, you lose Jackson Merrill, it's like, well, Tyler Wade's out in center field, and Brandon Lockridge is out in center field, or Bryce Johnson's out in center field. Now it's like,
you got a legit
Liriano's out in center field, and he's having a great season.
Ryan O'Hearn lifetime against Blake Snell. 1 for 4 with a solo home run. But again, we mentioned this earlier. Luis Arraez's lifetime against Blake Snell is 6 for 9. I'm just looking up and down.
Give me Iglesias and Bryce Johnson's numbers against Blake Snell.
Iglesias has been flat out awful.
He'll be in the lab tonight.
He is 2 for 15 lifetime.
Put him in the lineup.
I'll give you a guy. Tell you who's been awful. Xander Bogaerts is doing the math on it in my head. He's 5 for 28 lifetime.
Well, there's no one they can
179. I know.
It's between Iglesias, Johnson, and O'Hearn for me tonight.
Iglesias
and Sheets as well. Those 4, 2 of them will be in the lineup tonight.
Bryce Johnson's 0 for 2. Gavin Sheets has never faced Blake Snell. Ryan O'Hearn is 1 for 4 with a home run. And Jose Iglesias is 2 for 15 lifetime off Blake Snell. So we'll see how the matchups weigh in. I'm now fully convinced. We thought Luis Arraez would be in the lineup regardless because he's always in the lineup. They haven't platooned him all year.
He's an everyday player.
So he will be in the lineup, specifically with those numbers against Blake Snell. All right, Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. Alan Slewa talked to us about this upcoming weekend as well. And if you missed our conversation with Alan Slewa, you'll hear it coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. We've got a great giveaway for you. We're waiting on this Padres lineup that will be out within the hours. The Padres and Dodgers square off. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend series tonight at Petco at 6:40. We've got you covered until 6 p.m. right here on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres, Dodgers meet again tonight at Petco Park to start a 3-game series. Final meeting between the two in the regular season. Yu Darvish will be on the mound for the Padres against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium. 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. Listen right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage, no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, waiting on that Padres lineup that should be out within the hour as the Padres and Dodgers, we're waiting on a Dodgers lineup as well, but as the Padres and Dodgers prepare for game one of their 3-game series, it is Blake Snell, Yu Darvish. And by the way, Snell lifetime at Petco Park, which would include a Cy Young season, has a sub-3 ERA in 43 starts, a 2.87 ERA lifetime at Petco Park. So it's a tall task. And believe it or not, the Padres 20 games over 500 are an underdog tonight, a slight underdog tonight against the Dodgers. It's the Jim point. Got to prove it on field. They're not some crazy underdog, but they're a slight underdog tonight, as we all need to see it with her. And I do think it's a tough matchup. If you told me Snell Darvish and you told me how this season has played out with the Dodgers winning 8 of 10, I say this creates challenges that need to be overcome tonight for the Padres.
And if they lose tonight,
season's over.
Correct.
And it was good.
Season will be officially over. No, it's the question already is there. Is this team in their head? That's a very, I think, valid question to have. They'll tell you no. Mike Schitt will tell you no. They're in their head. It's plain as day that they are in their head. They lose tonight, that narrative will get louder and louder and hit even more home that this team can't beat the Dodgers. And that's where I've said the last 4 or 5 days here. You have to go out and prove it. There's excitement in this for this series. Absolutely. Am I excited? 100%. You're excited. All fans listening to us are excited. Watching on YouTube, everyone's excited for this series. But there is a cautious optimism. Not even optimism. There's just like cautiousness going into this series that, hey, are the Padres going to go out and still not play well against the Dodgers? Or are they going to go out and they're going to flip the narrative, which is right now that the Dodgers own you guys?
I'm glad you mentioned it because we talked on it briefly yesterday. It feels different than last weekend to me. I thought last weekend it's over the moon excitement.
Here we go.
In first place. This is, and we talked about it. We didn't say it, but we said we knew what people would say. Somebody wrote it was a changing of the guard or said it on MLB Network before the series. Let's see how it plays out. And of course, the Padres were swept. To me, it feels very different than last weekend. It really does. Now I'm hoping for the Padres flipping the script on LA and having success here at Petco Park. But I do think as opposed to last weekend, we jumped in Padres, Dodgers, first place, jump in. Now I'm dipping my toe in. That's how I feel about it because I don't want, it's the perfect Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown analogy now. It just is. And I can't continue to be fooled like that. I can't. Hopes all the way up, only to crash down. Hopes all the way up, only to crash down. So I watch and I hope, and I said it yesterday, my expectation is I'm excited for the series, but I don't know what to expect heading into this series.
I want you to guess the lineup for tonight because it's out. Don't look, guess.
No, I need to. Well, it comes down to me to whether Arise is in the lineup batting second.
Yeah.
Is O'Hearn in the lineup tonight? Just tell me.
The lineup reads as such. Fernando Tatis Jr. leading off.
Obviously.
Luis Rice hitting second.
Right.
Manny Machado hitting third at third base. Ryan O'Hearn is hitting cleanup as your DH.
Okay.
Xander's hitting fifth at short. Gavin Sheets.
Wow.
Is in the lineup in left field. Ramon Liriano's in center, hitting seventh. Jake's at second, hitting eighth, and Freddie Fermin's hitting ninth.
Wow, look at that lineup.
Look at Schilt. Just said, screw it. I'm going to put my best players out there.
I wouldn't have predicted that. I really wouldn't have. So he gets all the lefties in, right? It basically gets all. He says, you know what? Left, right, be damned. Left, right, be damned. He gets all the lefties in. Go for it. That's what we said. Give yourself a 1% better chance. It's more than that to win the game, and that's basically what he's done. So DH is O'Hearn. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, with Arise at first. So O'Hearn DHing, Arise at first, and Sheets. I mean, listen, how do you sit Gavin Sheets? It's hard to sit power when you go up against a power team. It's hard to sit guys that with one swing can change a game, and that's Gavin Sheets and Ryan O'Hearn. So very interesting that the Padres will finally kind of use their optimal lineup for the first time maybe since the trade deadline against left-handed pitching. Because O'Hearn had not been starting against lefties until tonight, right?
Until tonight. This is the first time that he has started against lefty with the Padres.
How can you sit Iglesias against a lefty? Again, why would you ever say that?
Did Schilt read everyone's tweets?
Yeah, I mean, he's aware. It has nothing to do with the tweets and everything to do with what the analytics suggest. To me,
yeah,
it's less about the tweets. It's not about public pressure. It's about the truth.
I know, and
right,
and he with this lineup is acknowledging like, there we go.
Exactly.
I'm putting my best foot forward, and that's what I think the general consensus has been. And the talking point that we have said is like, just put your best foot forward.
Yep.
Put your best players out there. Now, I'm interested to see when Jackson Merrill returns what the lineup would look like, because Merrill will 100% be in there. I guess Sheets would be the one on the bench, because then you'd move Liriano to left, Jackson to center.
Sheets. 100% be Sheets in that scenario.
Yeah, in that scenario.
Honestly, this is you know what? I hate to say this. For a night against a good power hitting team, when I need that in the lineup power, I'm fine with this lineup. Like, I'm not saying you're never sitting Merrill, but with Merrill being out, do you feel like you have a weakened lineup?
No.
Either do I. And now I get it. Is Gavin Sheets as good lifetime against lefties? It's like, no, I get it. But like, can he run into a ball? Yeah. Has he done it recently? Absolutely. So I almost like, again, nobody wants Merrill out. That's not the point. But I wanted to see a lineup like this. This lineup doesn't exist with Jackson Merrill healthy. You never get this much power in the lineup. You're not going to get O'Hearn and Sheets in a lineup against left-handed pitching ever, if not for injury.
Unless, but he'll never do it.
How would you do it with if Merrill was healthy and playing?
O'Hearn's at first, arises out of the lineup, and Jackson's in center with Liriano and left, and Sheets is your DH.
I guess you're not going to see it maybe right away. Maybe you do eventually force his hand, and maybe in the postseason you would see something like that. But that's a fair point, because we started the day with O'Hearn.
Right.
Yeah,
but hey, look, I like it a lot. I was expecting to not like it, and I was expecting to see like Bryce Johnson and Jose Iglesias in the lineup.
Enough of that.
Exactly.
You're going to beat the Dodgers on margins? You're going to beat them by swinging the bat.
Yeah, go out there, put your best foot forward. Because last week, the lineup against Blake Snell, I got to look this up. Because I want to say it was Bryce Johnson and Jose Iglesias last week.
And it didn't work.
So they faced Blake Snell on what, Saturday?
I think that's right. Is the day you did the wrap-up show?
Yeah, don't want to talk about it.
So
yeah, their lineup last Saturday was Tatis, Arise, Manny, Merrill, Bogarts, Liriano, Cronenworth, Iglesias, Fermin.
There are tons of differences, because Merrill was still in there at the time. And Iglesias,
Iglesias was the DH.
Yeah, it's way different. It's completely changed. And let's see if it works. But I go back to like, are we really going to say at the end of the night, man, they really missed Iglesias' defense? Man, they got killed on that.
No.
It's always possible, but that could happen with any player. Fernando Tatis Jr. misplayed a ball yesterday. So you can't.
And he's going to win a platinum glove this year.
Yeah, you can't be like, well, this is our optimal defensive lineup. That's ridiculous. You're not trying to beat them 1-0. You have to you're going to have to probably like outslug them tonight.
And lineup aside, because it's just the first thing that fans can look at and either praise or criticize, right? Now it's up to the players to go out there and perform. Go out there. Manny, guess what? You've been awful against the Dodgers this season, albeit for one game where you did have 5 RBIs. That was 11-1 victory.
Right.
But besides that game, you've been awful against the Dodgers this year. Bogarts last weekend, he was 0 for, or at least I think he might have 1 hit.
I think he had a hit.
Cronenworth last weekend went 0 for. Tatis, are you going to hit a home run ever again?
Right.
Like, go out there and go out there and perform. You know, the lineup is what it is. And I'm glad tonight there's no excuses about lineup talk. Like there's no lineup excuse tonight. Like, oh, I can't believe they didn't put this in there. They put that in there. Like
you lose. And
right.
It's not going to be, well, that's because they started lefties against the lefty.
No.
Well, you complained when they started righties against the lefty.
Right.
So certainly I don't want to hear the complaint. If Blake Snell shoves tonight, here, I'll say it. I'll be Mike Schilt.
Nothing is more annoying.
Tip your cap.
Oh, geez. Nothing is more annoying besides saying tip your cap than not putting your best foot forward and not putting your best players out there to perform. Like that to me is just like, what are you, like, if you're going to go down swinging with your best. I don't want to see like, oh, well, Jose Iglesias and Bryce Johnson, because they've done that. And it's like, no. Put your best lineup out there. I won't nitpick about where you put them in the lineup as long as you put your best guys out there. And now they put their best guys out there for tonight with Jackson Merrill down, and you're playing straight up. And if they lose, they lose. But at least they went out and they had their best foot forward.
That's what I was going to. That's honestly my point. If this doesn't work and tonight's game ends in a 3-1 loss, and the only run scores on a sac fly, and they have 5 hits, and 4 of them are singles.
All their lefties go over.
I'm not gonna start the wrap up show tonight and be like, how could you sit Iglesias?
No, exactly.
So you can't do that. And over one game, anything can happen. Any player can have a big game or a bad game in one game. I do believe offensively they kind of found something and are finding things, and I think this gives a better chance to have offensive success in a series where you're going to need it, especially with Yu Darvish on the mound.
And at this point of the season, you got to ride the hot hand more often than not.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because you can look at splits and you can give me all the, well, in his career, blah, blah, blah. How about right now? The mainstays are going to be in the lineup. Manny, Tatis, Bogey, Merrill, like Crony, right? They're all going to be in the lineup, okay? But when you get to the point of your season where like wins and losses are all that matters, you ride the hot hand as much as you possibly can. And if the lineup, the best lineup that you have is without a certain player that's maybe been an everyday player for you for the entire season, sorry, wins are more important than feelings here.
Right, but they still haven't fully gotten to that point.
Right.
And that may come.
And they're still winning, so it's like
exactly.
We'll see what happens.
17-7 in their last 24. A lineup tonight that includes 4 left-handed batters against Blake Snell. They will go right, left, right, all the way 1 through 9 in their lineup tonight. We'll continue to react to that. If you missed Alan Slewa yesterday, you'll hear our conversation at 3:30 on Padres and Dodgers. Plus, coming up at 5 p.m., our Padres insider Kevin Acee joins the show here until 6. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Alan Slewa, 3:30 on Padres Dodgers. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. getting you ready for game one of this 3-game series. We have said that before, like last weekend. So this is the final time of the regular season between these two teams. We'll see if the Padres can do something they haven't done in a while, and that's beat the Dodgers in a series. They haven't done it since the regular season of 2024. All right.
I thought you were going to say the Reagan administration.
No,
like
regular season of 20. I mean, it's been at least 4 consecutive series. I don't know who won the last. You said it. I think the Dodgers won the last regular season series in 2024. Is that right?
Yes. They that was the triple play series. Padres won game one with the triple play. A triple play.
Yeah.
Which we have seen 7,423 times on Padres TV this year.
Do they show that? Have I missed that one?
Yeah, we were talking about this last night.
So wait, here's a question. I have a question for Padres fans. Have the Padres ever had a triple play to clinch a playoff spot? Because it's hard for me to remember if that's happened.
I have another question for Padres fans.
Okay.
How many consecutive batters has Jeremiah Estrada struck out in his career?
If you don't know that, you don't have a subscription.
You don't.
Okay, you're not watching.
No.
Don't tell me you're watching every night if you don't know how many consecutive batters Jeremiah Estrada struck out.
Yep.
Because he's not only has he struck out 13 consecutive batters, based on the number of times they played the ad, he has struck out 13,000 batters because it's aired that many times.
I've watched him strike out more batters than Randy Johnson.
Also, does Tony Gwynn have 3,000 hits or 30,000? Because I've seen his 3,000th hit 30,000 times.
It's up there. I mean, you're probably looking at, we've seen his 3,000th hit more than his career hits total in his life, in his career.
Don't be scared to mix in some more. So like you got Gwynn 3,000. I mean, you have so much you can do here.
Like, I don't know. Maybe that's have some more moments to play.
I mean, they've been around since 1969. Can't we have a Jay Cronenworth against the Dodgers in 2022? Is that not a good moment?
Just lazy.
I mean, there should be 100. If you have 100, I've seen the same ad 100 times, so I should see 100 different great moments in Padres history.
Can damn near recite word for word these commercials.
I know.
Like what are we doing here?
I need more.
I need a lot more.
Well,
you guys are relentless.
Oh yeah, that. Maybe now that
I'm like, dude, I get it, man.
Maybe now that the games are going to ESPN, you'll get more. In 2026.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. Let's go to Eric on line 1. Eric, you're back with us on John and Jim.
Awesome, guys. A huge series this weekend. Obviously, right? I just wanted to mention something real quick on the Padres. So all year long, right? They've been resilient, right? Persistent, and they've been deceitful at sometimes, or deceiving as far as their offense goes. But one thing they haven't done is throw their arms up and quit, right? And I only say that because sometimes I feel like maybe as fans, I'll say we do, right? Example, last weekend, they get swept by the Dodgers in LA. It's like, oh, there it goes, right? And then leading up to this could be the same thing. But you know what? There's no option. They still have to keep fighting. They still got to show up. They're right in the middle in the thick of things. So, I mean, we just can't give up on these guys is all I got to say.
Appreciate you, Eric. I mean, how many times have you heard Schultz say, man, we could have folded up the tents?
Oh, every game that they lose.
So I mean, it's true. I mean,
what's he loves to say, the intent is there.
The level of competitive, like the competition. He loves saying competition.
He has a saying that I tweeted out, and it's every time that the Padres lose a game, he comes away saying this exact quote. I gotta find it here, but it's pretty funny.
The intent, the fight.
Yeah. Hold on. Because I really now I gotta find this.
It might be hard to find because you tweet 50,000 times.
No, I don't.
Yes. Literally game one of the Giants series, you tweeted 1,000 times.
This is what Mike Schultz will say. Like it's like autopilot when they lose. Effort's there, intent's there, the competitive spirit's there. We'll be ready to go tomorrow.
That's so true, dude.
But hopefully he doesn't have to say that this weekend. Right? Hopefully those words don't come out of Mike Schultz's mouth
true.
after a Padres loss.
It's true.
Because I as much as I like can't stand watching the same commercial over and 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 over again on Padres.tv, I can't stand when Mike Schultz says that after a loss.
Yeah, but the truth is, like I'm doing the math here, like 93 wins last year, and then 93 plus 72. What is this? Just doing off the top of my head, 165. 165 wins, 69 losses last year, 56 this year. I mean, the point is the proof's in the pudding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, name me another Padres manager since Bochy that's 40 games over 500 in 2 years.
That would be none, John.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they have really won. And you might say, well, the playoffs have expanded. Now, 93 wins is a good year. I mean, even without the final wild card spot, right? Padres would have been in a year ago. This year, I mean, they're trying to win a division. So, and who knows? I mean, they're right now 16 games over 500. So I agree. Listen, some of the stuff Schultz says, we've talked ad nauseum about it for 2 years. Proof's in the winning percentage.
Yep.
Like they win at such a high clip. And the second half stuff is like unbelievable.
They do. And I've always said, I'm really glad that Mike Schultz is a really good manager. Because all the shtick on the side, it would not fly if he did not win games.
I mean, 17-7 in their last 24. Once again, a second half where a team is trending up.
And this is a big series for Mike Schultz, by the way, because he's been punked by Dave Roberts and been outmanaged by Dave Roberts for the last year here.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice if this series Schultz had the upper hand. Like a move that Schultz makes works out, that Dave Roberts, the counter's a move that Dave Roberts makes, and Mike Schultz wins that matchup. Like, because right now, Dave Roberts, ever since game 4 last year, he's punked Mike Schultz.
It's been like checkmate.
It's
the way last year ended.
Yeah, Dave Roberts, as much as we hate him around here, can't argue the fact that he has outmanaged Mike Schultz severely since game 4 of the postseason last year.
Maybe the first positive in the chess game is what he did tonight with his lineup, at least by getting his best producing hitters in there, and that's Ryan O'Hearn right now, and of course Gavin Sheets had a big weekend as well, or big week against the San Francisco Giants. We'll continue to discuss as we lead you up to Padres and Dodgers game 1 of a 3-game series. When Mike Schultz speaks this afternoon, you will hear it right here on John and Jim and San Diego Sports 760. Great conversation with Alan Slewa coming up, who has covered this series from all angles over the years, and he will join us if you missed it. If you missed it yesterday, you'll hear that conversation at 3:30. And then Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, is on the show today as well. He'll join us at 5 p.m. We've got a giveaway for you today as well. 4-pack of tickets to see Nelly with Ja Rule for next week. But hour 2 of John and Jim, that comes your way next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. We'll start with the Padres. Of course, they start a 3-game series tonight against the Dodgers at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. And tomorrow night, STFC takes on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium. 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. Listen to the match right here on your home of STFC, San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
It's another Padres-Dodgers weekend. This time in our house, Petco will be rocking all weekend, and we get you all ready for the series. Tonight, Blake Snell returns to America's finest city versus... Now we get inside the matchup with all the analysis and breakdown live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim, leading you up to Padres and Dodgers from Petco tonight. Kevin Acee at 5. If you missed Alan Sliwa, got good perspective on Padres Dodgers. You'll hear it coming up at 3:30. We've got a giveaway for you as well, a 4-pack of tickets to see Nelly next Wednesday. It is amazing to me that people actually argue the point against the point you just made about Mike Schilt, Dave Roberts. The conversation can change, but it has to change based on the Padres outperforming the Dodgers in meaningful moments. And that's not just this weekend. It would have to be in the postseason. Like Mike Schilt can still win in the postseason just because he hasn't to this point. But you cannot argue the point. As much as we despise the way it played out, the sinister sling stuff, you can't argue the point that Dave Roberts has gotten the best of the Padres. I get it. Players are involved. It's not solely a managerial discussion, but there have been moves in there. Mike Schilt can be a good manager, but you can also make the statement that the Dodgers have had the upper hand and Dave Roberts has had the upper hand on Mike Schilt. And there's a number of moments you could point to going back to the postseason of last year. That's completely fair.
I don't like saying this, but it is 100% factually true. Dave Roberts is a better manager than Mike Schilt. I don't like saying that. I don't. But you know how that changes? Is if Mike Schilt gets past the Dodgers or if Mike Schilt wins the World Series. Then the conversation changes. But as of right now, it's unfortunate that, it's a fact. Dave Roberts has outmanaged Mike Schilt.
That was the hardest part last year in the postseason for me. It's like Dave Roberts looked the fool with the whole sinister sling, the whole conversation, the Ken Rosenthal article, but he got the last laugh. And then this year, he's got Kike Hernandez out there in a 10-0 game, like in the 5th inning. We're like, this is foolish. They win the series. It's like when you're not getting last laughs, who's the fool?
Yeah.
So it's like, and again, to your point, the conversation never ends. The beauty of sports is a soap opera. It's as the world turns. The Dodgers could win last year's World Series and the Padres could win the next 2, or it goes back and forth. That's the beauty of sports. But as we sit here right now, I mean, we've been watching the Dodgers dominate the Padres for the last 1 year. Postseason, regular season series after regular season series. It can change. I hope it changes. I hate the narrative, but they're going to have to change it on field.
And the one time the Padres got the best of the Dodgers, who was the manager? Oh, it wasn't Mike Schilt. It was Bob Melvin. So there's no conversation there. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you have to kind of bend the knee here to Dave Roberts, but until it changes, until it's proven otherwise, it's a fact. I'm sorry. There's no opinion here. There's no opinion about who's a better manager or not. Like Mike Schilt is a good manager in his own right. Dave Roberts is a good manager in his own right. And head to head, Dave Roberts has the upper hand. It's plain and simple. There's no opinion there. I hate it because I don't like Dave Roberts at all. I don't like the Dodgers at all. You know my hatred for the Dodgers. But until that, wins-loss column changes towards the Padres side, there's no conversation here. Dave Roberts has outmanaged Mike Schilt in every facet of the game over the last 2 years.
I mean, the crazy thing is, and I don't think it would happen, but Dave Roberts, in some alternate universe, was looking for employment in the middle of October last year if the Padres could win another game. I don't think it would have happened, but there's a world that probably exists. If they go out in 4 and the Padres lay it on the Dodgers and win that game 11-0, and Dylan Cease shoves, and the offense looks like the offense it looked like earlier in the series, and they go out with their tails between their legs, lifeless, maybe there's a world that exists where they could have put him out of his misery, so to speak. But guess what? It didn't happen.
Right.
So to argue, well, the Padres are only a one win from beating the Dodgers. The history of sports is one win.
Right.
The legacies
1 yard, 1 inch,
the legacy of Kobe
everything.
Bryant is different. I'm sure if they didn't win a 7th game, or all these players like one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Guess what? I bet Colin Kaepernick is a different quarterback if he wins one Super Bowl.
Yeah. If that ball that he threw to Crabtree in the corner of the end zone was caught instead of not, then guess what? He's won a Super Bowl.
You can't play the one game thing.
No, you can't.
And I hate it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So now what it is, here's the thing. Like I said, it's a soap opera. It never ends.
Nope.
So you can still get laughs or last laughs, but as of now, you haven't. But I think that's why some people sometimes come here. I mean, we kind of say it how it is, whether we like it or not. We try to do it from like an unbiased perspective. I mean, I'm not lying when I tell you that Dave Roberts is the winningest manager in the history of baseball, a 622 winning percentage. Nobody's higher than 615. He's a 622 regular season manager. Have there been failures in the postseason? You better believe it. One of them was in 2022 against the Padres. But right now it's on the Padres. Forget about that. It's on the Padres to go change that conversation. But they can't change the conversation any other way than doing it on field.
And if we lived our lives with hypotheticals in our past, like, you know what? If I didn't go and do this one thing, I'd be a millionaire right now. Well, guess what? You're not. Like, you can change the future. You can't change the past. The past is the past. And you can tell me all the hypotheticals you want. Well, you know, if the Padres beat the Dodgers, though they didn't. So there's no discussion there. Okay? It happened. It's over with. You move forward and you deal in reality with, can they beat the Dodgers in the future? They didn't beat him in the past. Okay? Dave Roberts, he outmanaged Mike Schilt. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. All right? So going forward, can Mike Schilt outmanage or outmaneuver and get his guys over that hump that this team hasn't gotten over? They got over in 2022, but Mike Schilt wasn't here, so I can't use that.
You can't give Mike Schilt
as an
credit
opinion. There's no credit there for him. So going forward, if they don't play well again this series, I'm going to put some of that on Mike Schilt, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how the series plays out. And if they face the Dodgers again in the postseason and they can't beat them in the postseason again, then I'll put a lot of it on Mike Schilt.
We're going to be the first people to tell you,
obviously.
but we're going to be the first people to tell you if they take care of the business on field. Well, I'll be the first to celebrate Schilt. I mean, I just 100%. Told you right now, in the midst of the struggles against the Dodgers the last 2 years, how can you tell the story, by the way, of the San Diego Padres without talking about obviously how the 2024 postseason ended? How can you tell the story of Mike Schilt? But I just told you that you can't find a manager with more success than Mike Schilt since Bruce Bochy in this uniform. So
100%. So
that's true. And we will celebrate the fact if they can win by going through the Dodgers or even by going through Milwaukee and Philadelphia or whatever. But they're going to have to prove it.
That's why
I'm not going to excuse it if, well, he's a great second half manager, but he doesn't win in the postseason. It's all part of the story.
Yeah. That's why, in baseball, especially with this team over the last couple of years, for guys that struggle, like, man, he hit the ball hard though. Well, we went 0 for 4.
Right.
Like him hitting the ball hard might set up for future success. Absolutely. But what happened in the moment is it was an out. So that's what happened. It goes down as an out in the scorebook. But you're right. Those types of things could set up for future success. But when talking about past history, there's no like blurry lines here. It's black and white. Was he out or did he hit the ball and did it drop? You know, did they win or did they lose?
And I'll put it plainly and like bluntly and frankly, as ridiculous as this conversation is, the Dodgers have never been, they're so susceptible. It doesn't mean I'm watching. We're seeing these results. They've been one of the bottom 10 teams in baseball since the 1st of July in overall record.
I know. Yeah.
Their batting numbers have come down in the second half of the year. Now they've been a little better here recently, but you get my point. Like, if the Padres don't take advantage of it, it's like it's on the Padres. Like, the Dodgers have given you the door. They're not winning 100 games. I can say it for certain. They're not, they were never 18 games up. I mean, they were 9 games up. they let you back in, or you played well to get back in. The thing is right there, but I can't go down the whole path of like, Padres are going to win the division. Trust me, it's right there for the taking. I'm just saying it's there for, I'm saying like the Dodgers have let you in this situation where take advantage of it or not. Take advantage of it because there's going to be another year in the future where they have the $400 million payroll and they win 109 games and there's no shot of it. That's not happening this year.
And don't get us wrong, like Dodgers are still the favorites. They're the favorites. They have the resources. They have the money. Padres have money as well too. Yeah. They're not like this little. It's not David versus Goliath thing here, where the Dodgers have a $350 million payroll and the Padres have this, little gritty $80 million, $100 million payroll. They have a $250 million payroll here. So like they got superstars. They can match the Dodgers in a lot of ways. The Dodgers are spending and whatnot, but you're gonna have to go out there and you're gonna have to take it. And there's no excuse on the Dodgers side, and there shouldn't be an excuse on the Padres side either. It's just pretty straight up as it gets. The teams are pretty healthy, other than Jackson Merrill tonight. There's not like this glaring omission from the Padres lineup that they're going out there when they're cleanup hitters like Jose Iglesias or something. This is a straight up battle, and we'll see what happens later tonight. And hopefully the Padres get off on the right foot, because if they don't, I just feel like it's going to get even more in their heads as the weekend goes on.
And I don't even, honestly, now that we have this conversation, you can't make a definitive statement this weekend. You can make a statement this weekend. The definitive statements will be made in the postseason.
Yep.
You can make a statement, but you can't make the definitive statement right now. But you can't worry about the future. All you can worry about is right now. And they have so many. The crazy thing is, I said the same thing last weekend. Like they had so many things working in their favor, and then they fell on their face and lost 3 consecutive games. I would say the same thing right now, though. They have things working in their favor. They're 20 games over 500 at home. They're 17-7 in their last 24 games. They're taking on a Dodger team that hasn't played that kind of baseball. But until they do it, it's just I can't keep going down this path. And I hope it changes this weekend. I really do. But I can't expect it to change this weekend until I see it. And I hope that's what we're talking about come Monday here on John and Jim.
Here's the Dodgers lineup for tonight. Shohei Ohtani's leading off at DH. Mookie Betts is at short. Will Smith's hitting third. Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Michael Conforto, Andy Pages, Alex Freeland, and Buddy Kennedy. One of the biggest things that the Padres have not been able to do against the Dodgers all this year and in the postseason last year was contain the bottom of their lineup.
You were going to say it.
And while the lineup at the bottom here for the Dodgers doesn't look great, Alex Freeland and Buddy Kennedy, Andy Pages has torched you this year. Ever since Mike Schultz called him out, he has made Mike Schultz look like a fool there. So, you got to contain the bottom on this lineup tonight. You cannot have Alex Freeland and Buddy Kennedy beat you
for 4 hits.
They can't. They just can't. Cannot do it. Cannot happen.
Interesting storyline within the storylines. Tanner Scott active today, activated by the Dodgers. Yep. Now, of course, Scott was just here. Blake Snell was recently here. Blake Snell will start this game. Tanner Scott could absolutely appear in this game. By the way, Kirby Yates is expected to be activated tomorrow for the Dodgers. The weaving of these stories they're so intertwined, right? I mean, there's so much here. There's so many paths you could go down. It all boils down to the same thing, which is Padres Dodgers, and can the Padres overcome these demons this weekend and moving forward?
Yeah, and it's not going to determine the rest of their season. They're still going to make the postseason, but being 2-8 against the team that you are competing with for a division title, who's directly in front of you, you're going to want to play better. Because if you don't, then like I said, you're going to have to rely on a lot of bad teams to help you out.
Sure.
Dodger schedule is pretty almost identical to yours.
Right.
As far as how many bad teams they play in the final month of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing you want to do is be like, come on, Colorado, help us out. Or whoever they're playing. I don't know exactly who, but you get my point.
Come on, White Sox.
Yeah. Come on, Chicago. Come on, Miami. Actually, Miami's not that bad.
You're right. And honestly, like, you have no control over that. Yeah. So it's like,
come on, Washington.
Like, you can't rely on it.
No, you can't.
If it happens, it happens. All right, much more. Getting you ready. Padres, Dodgers coming up tonight. Game 1. We're going down all kinds of paths. Alan Slewa, if you missed him yesterday, you'll hear that conversation at 3:30. We will hear from Mike Show pregame. I will tell you this. He will be very short when asked about the Dodgers, and he'll be asked everything about the Dodgers. He'll be short when it comes to the Dodgers as he gets his team
He'll be
ready.
excited, though.
He'll be excited.
He wanted to play last night.
But he doesn't like when it's angled about the Padres versus the Dodgers. So it's just another game, right? He's going to go down that's just another game narrative. Kevin AC at 5 p.m. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we're going to hear from Manny Machado coming up this hour from inside the Padres clubhouse as the Padres get ready for the Dodgers. I wonder what Manny has to say about that. So we'll hear
Just go and play good baseball, John. Just a baseball game and just go out and play good baseball.
That's kind of what he sounds like.
Yeah.
We'll hear from Manny coming up in about 25 minutes. Alan Slewa at 3:30. Lifelong Padres fan, has covered this series from different angles over the years, and you'll hear that conversation coming up at 3:30. So you've read the Dodger lineup. We read you the Padres lineup. That was kind of I think it was somewhat surprising that you would see Luis Arraez, Ryan O'Hearn, and Gavin Sheets all in the lineup, left-handed batters against the left-handed starter Blake Snell. It's not the path Mike Schilt has gone down. He is somewhat shorthanded with Merrill out right now, but they've switched the lineup up. Will it have an effect? And I think there's a very good chance it could. Now, any one game, like that's the other thing. Any one game, any one thing can happen. But give this an opportunity, right? Play these guys with more routine. Certainly O'Hearn has gotten more opportunities. Like you play him tonight. He's basically become an everyday player. Give this a chance to develop into something is what I would say.
If it was June 3rd instead of August 22nd, is Mike Schilt putting on this exact lineup?
No, probably not.
Iglesias would 100%
stay the course, right?
Maybe put Bryce Johnson in for another righty. If Jackson Merrill was healthy, he'd be in there for Gavin Sheets.
Exactly.
O'Hearn would be on the bench. I don't think this is a lineup that you would see from Mike Schilt on June 18th or June 22nd, but it's an August 22nd lineup, knowing that there's less than 40 games remaining. The sprint is on. You're one game back of the Dodgers. If you're going down, go down with your best. You know, now it's not the end all be all if they lose this series this weekend again to LA. It would definitely hurt their chances even more to win the division. But you're taking out the question. You're taking out the maybe we should have had O'Hearn and Sheets in the lineup instead of Iglesias and Bryce Johnson.
Let me ask it this way. If as opposed to being 2-8 against the Dodgers, they were 8-2, still in the same spot, a game back, which is very possible. If they were 8-2 and they're coming off a sweep at Dodger Stadium with the lineups they threw out there,
good question.
Would they just stick with what has been working? And would there be so much less attention on the Ryan O'Hearn conversation if the Padres were 8-2 against LA and had just swept the Dodgers this past weekend? I don't know the answer. I would still probably advocate for the better lineup.
I would too.
I don't think they would do it though. In that circumstance, I really don't. I think this is more of a product of what we've tried hasn't worked. Therefore, let's try something else.
Right.
Where if it was working, I don't know if they would be tinkering. Maybe they're benefiting by it not working is my point.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work, so we got to do something new.
And O'Hearn has worked when you've asked him to produce.
But at least it shows awareness.
True, it does. Yeah,
it shows that all right, we're going to change this thing up.
So maybe we're making the argument, and I think you and I actually agree.
It's a good thing.
Well, hear me out. We've said there's been a lot of social media attention on the Padres lineup, right? And we were both like, I don't think he changed the lineup because of social media or media attention, but you'll never know. But if this was 1979, does he just roll the same team out every single day?
No,
because nobody really sang anything about it.
Well, in the newspaper, you might read stuff.
Yeah, true. And that's basically where you would have heard it.
Right, because back in the day,
there's no sports radio in the 70s.
Nope. Newspaper was everything. So whoever wrote about it, that was like
huge voice in the conversation.
100%.
Yeah.
Kevin Acey's articles would be everything.
If he was hammering on the point,
yeah,
then maybe something would change. But it's just, we're in this world now where people are so reactionary. I react to one at bat. If O'Hearn hits a double in his first at bat, amazing. If Arraez strikes out in his first at bat, bench him. Right. So, that wasn't even happening 10 or 15 years ago, but that's happening right now. I think actually the point I'm trying to make and the point we're collectively making is I think they're actually better off for it maybe. They're reacting to things that haven't worked and they're putting out a group that gives them a better chance to win. They have the pieces in place. We're post-deadline. Put your best foot forward. And I think that's what they're doing.
It's gonna be interesting if they put like a 5 spot on Blake Snell tonight with this lineup.
Absolutely.
It's like,
whoa.
Okay.
So they got a lineup that can hit left-handed pitching and really good left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
In that scenario.
Because right now they have not found that left-handed lineup against the lefty. Now, there's not like a ton of lefties that you'll face in the postseason, but there's a couple that would be very difficult. You face the Dodgers, you'll face Blake Snell, and you'll face Kershaw. Kershaw's owned you. You'll face The lefty from Philadelphia,
Chris
Sanchez. He's really good.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing a couple lefties out there. Matthew Boyd from the Cubs. I think that's who it is. Matt Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a lefty.
Right.
Like you might face them in the wild card round.
And you got to prove that you can really hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah, because you're going to face left-handed pitching in the postseason.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but you'll face some tough lefties, and you got to figure out a good lineup for that. And if your lineup is this one tonight that puts up 4 or 5 runs on the board against the one of the best lefties in the game when that lefty's on and healthy, that just gives this team confidence going forward against lefties. All right, that's our lineup against a lefty.
And remember, last time out, completely different lineup. Yes, Blake Snell was good, but they completely left him off the hook. Let him off the hook.
Yep.
3 outs on the bases of the first 6 outs recorded by Blake Snell were on the bases. Don't let that happen again. Alan Sliwa on the other side. Kevin Acey coming up at 5 p.m. We'll hear from Manny Machado at 3:45. Do not go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres Dodgers start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. The final meetings between these two teams in the regular season. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. First pitch is at 6:40. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Portland Snapdragon Stadium, 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. Listen right here in your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are just our instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
All right, John and Jim, we're going to hear from Alan Sliwa. The Sliwa Show on YouTube, San Diegan, Aztec, has covered this Padres-Dodgers dynamic for a number of years. You'll hear our conversation coming up in a moment, but I want to go to the phones real quick. 877-767-4760. I believe we have a Dodger fan named Mark that wants to weigh in. Mark, you're on with John and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
You're brave.
Hey, thanks, fellas. It's Mark B. How are you?
What's up, man?
It's Mark B.
Dude?
What's up, buddy?
So long since I talked to you guys.
Good to hear you, man.
Well, coming from a Dodgers standpoint, I truly have no idea how this team is still in first place. Been watching them all year, and it's been nothing but disappointing. Andrew Friedman spent a ton of dough on the likes of Conforto and Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott, and frankly, they've all been busts. So I know you guys are a little bit nervous about tonight, but I think these are the type of nights that you steps up typically. So as a Dodger fan, I got to be real here, and I think he likely shoves tonight, and I can't see a scenario where the Padres don't take 2 out of 3 here. And don't let the other Dodger fans fool you and say this is not a rivalry. This is quite obviously the best rivalry in baseball over the last few years. So just wanted to say hi, check in, and give my 2 cents.
We appreciate
Thanks,
you, Mark.
Mark.
Appreciate
you
you doing that. Listen, I mean, I understand. I respect like the critiquing of his own club and watching how they played this year. I think he may have gone a little far heading into the series by saying, I don't see a world where the Padres don't win 2 out of 3.
I see a world where
there's a world where they don't. And we've all watched it play out. You've had varying levels of confidence throughout the last half decade, and there's been some good and there's been some bad. But yes, can the Padres win the series? Of course they can. But I mean, are we certain that Yu Darvish is going to look like the old Yu Darvish? I hope we see it. Mm-hmm. But like that's a big question mark. And even like Mark's point, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at it. Dodgers are minus 120 tonight. The Dodgers are the slight favorite. Doesn't mean the Padres can't win. But this is no easy hurdle for the Padres, even with them playing the Dodgers at home.
Yeah, and Mark's right. In Dodger land, this has been an incredibly disappointing season for the Dodgers so far.
A lot of injuries, obviously.
They were, penciled in to be a 110 to 115 win team this season. And they're not even going to get close to that. Instead, they're fighting for their lives against the Padres for the division. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to maybe even get the number 1 seed overall in the National League. And they spent all that money in the offseason.
They're not getting the number 1.
They're all likelihood they're not getting that unless something crazy happens with the Brewers and vice versa with the Dodgers. So, I mean, I get it from a Dodgers fan standpoint. Like this has been a down year for them and their expectations. And really, if they don't win a World Series, oh man, it's going to be bad.
Right. I think it's interesting because obviously, like it's a different. We'll get to Allen later. It's a different lens to look at it through. The Dodgers won the World Series last year in Ohtani's first year in their uniform. The expectation with Ohtani was like, we're beginning a run of like 5 titles in 10 years, right?
Right.
I mean, you win one in year 1, you're thinking, hey, we're going to win 3 straight. We're the first dynasty since like the Yankees, right? And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But the lenses that we're seeing it through from the Padres perspective are a lot different. This isn't about 5 titles in the next 10 years. We would all take it, but no conversation is about that. The conversation is about, can they do something they've never done, which is A, win 1 World Series, or B, get to a World Series for the first time in, 27 years. Yeah. So Dodgers have been to World Series in the last 27 years. Padres haven't.
Yeah.
Dodgers have won World Series in the last 27 years. Padres haven't. So it's a different lens to look at it through. And both lenses have big question marks. We have questions. Can the Padres win in the postseason.
Yeah.
And Dodgers fans have questions. Hey, what happened to the team I saw a year ago that just won the World Series? Is that team going to show up?
Yeah, it's the best rivalry in baseball right now. But there is the Padres are the Dodgers' little brother.
I mean, for it to be true here, at some point you're going to have to get up off the mat. You can't get swept at home, for example, this weekend and be like, man, this rivalry is really coming through, isn't it?
Well, I do think with the Padres actually winning and beating the Dodgers in 2022, that took it to a level of, okay, we're at a rivalry now, because it only becomes a rivalry if one team beats the other in the most important part of their season, which is the postseason.
Right.
Like you look at the NFL and people might say, oh, Jets, Patriots, that's a great rivalry. Well, back in the day, there was no rivalry there because Tom Brady beat the Jets every single time they played.
But I'm just making the point. How long can you say? I agree. I think the rivalry right now has the dynamics of being the best in the sport. But how long can you say it's the best rivalry in the sport based on the 2022 postseason?
You're right. It has to flip here soon. Hopefully it flips this year.
Right.
Because if it doesn't flip this year and the same thing happens again, it's going to be the same song and dance. Oh, Padres got close and then they choked.
And the Dodgers won the World Series. Like down that path, it's like, well, is it really? But again, what I don't think is going to happen, I don't believe this weekend the Padres are not going to show up. Like I don't believe what happened last weekend is going to repeat itself, but I also have no clue. And I don't think anyone really does. Like Mark calls in, he says, I can't see the Dodgers winning 2 out of 3. Really? Or we've heard from Padres fans. Now that we're home, we're gonna do the exact same thing they just did to us. We're gonna sweep the series, and maybe someone's gonna be right because one of these outcomes will be true.
And to that point about showing up this weekend, man, I hope they do show up because they didn't show up last weekend, and they haven't shown up against the Dodgers pretty much all year long,
right?
Albeit 2 games, right?
Right.
But for each series that they play the Dodgers, they have not shown up. They've played awful baseball against them. So can you show up?
Right.
Can you go out and play good baseball? Can you hit with runners in scoring position? Can your stars have actually moments, right? Can you pitch well? If you don't win these games, okay, but don't go out there and look like you're a AAA team. Like go out and play some sound fundamental baseball. The stuff that Mike Schultz been preaching all year long. And if Mike Schultz going to preach that you're a sound fundamental baseball team,
then be it.
Go out and prove it. Go out and be it against the Dodgers.
Right. Let me ask you this, because you're going to say it's kind of a foolish question, but I'll go down. I'll follow up. I'll start by saying, what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like tonight? And you're going to say, well, that's stupid. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, right, John?
Are you going to go down the path of how many Dodger fans are going to be there?
I am.
Probably a lot.
I am.
Probably a good amount.
The reason I do it, the reason I would say, and I think it actually adds to kind of the atmosphere. I think it's going to feel like a playoff game maybe because of that. But of course, we've seen the playoffs between the Padres and Dodgers in recent years where Petco has been dominated by Padre fans, right? That's been a storyline the last 2 times they've met in the postseason. Now, in the regular season, that hasn't necessarily held true. I am kind of curious what that looks like tonight. I mean, there were years when it was completely lopsided where it was all Dodger fans. And then there were years in more recent history where it was all Padre fans. I mean, are Dodger fans clamoring to come down here? Like to Mark B's point, clinging to a 1-game lead in the midst of a season where they're pacing for 91 wins? Are they clamoring to come down here in droves or not? Or are Padres fans holding on to those tickets because they really want to be there to watch, to give the Padres their best chance and provide that home field advantage? Like I'm curious because I have no clue. Is it going to be 90% Padre fans or is it going to be 65% Padre fans?
Because we know these tickets are going to go for
they go for a lot,
a ton of money.
We've been looking.
Yes, we have.
On the wrap-up show, we see it.
So, if you're a person that has season tickets and you want to like recoup some of that money, I mean, maybe you do sell a Friday and a Sunday or a Friday and a Saturday
because you get the few $100 extra bucks.
Right. So, I mean, I get it.
Me too.
You can't block out all Dodger fans in the regular season from Petco. Postseason, different story.
Yep.
Postseason they've done a fantastic job of, kind of keeping Dodger fans out of that building. And the atmosphere has been incredible. But in the regular season, that's a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Regular season, they just want to sell. They're not going to box people out.
And there's so much secondary movement in the regular season where in the postseason,
Yeah.
you're buying tickets to go.
Right.
I feel like there's less of that secondary market in the postseason. Like if it was like the World Series, you're holding your ticket.
Right. And the Padres did a fantastic job last year and in 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, it was both series.
Yeah.
It's like there was barely any Dodger fans there. Regular season, that's a different story though. There'll be a good amount tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And whatever. It's part of it. It's part of it. And we'll see. Game 1 again coming up tonight between the Padres and the Dodgers. Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. We'll hear from Alan Slewa at 4. We were supposed to get to Alan right there, but had a call from Mark B and then got carried away in conversation. What we're going to do coming up, though, is we're going to hear from Manny Machado.
Yes, we are.
In the Padres clubhouse as San Diego prepares for LA, the first of 3. Final time they'll meet in the regular season in 2025. And it is a true statement to say first place is on the line tonight with the Padres 1 game back. So we'll hear from Manny. Kevin Acee coming up at 5 p.m. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin AC at 5 p.m. We're going to hear from Mike Schilt at 4 p.m. He has spoken with the media, so we'll hear from Mike Schilt coming up at 4 p.m. Now, Manny has spoken inside the Padres clubhouse. Where does this start, Brent? Is it with a question or no? All right, so there's a question to start this. Media scrum with Manny Machado just a few moments ago.
Well, I think to answer the question, you know as well as anybody what this rivalry's become. Can you kind of crystallize it for us in a few sentences?
The what? The what? What was the question?
Oh, sorry. But you know as well as anybody the rivalry and what this has become the last few years. So can you crystallize it for us what it means?
Honestly, I'm just worried about going out there and winning the game tonight. It's just go out there and play some good baseball, play the baseball we were capable of playing.
Facing Snell, you've seen him obviously a few times. You've been teammates with him. What makes him so tough?
We faced him for the first time last week, so we got a nice little report on him to go out there and kind of see what his game plan was against us. So, go out there and try to compete with him. He's definitely a big competitor, so try to go out there and out-compete him.
You got you on the mound. Just seeing what that guy continues to do, go out and battle the way that he does. Just how much does it mean to see a guy who's been through as many things as he has been to continue to go out there and try and take the ball every 5 days?
He loves baseball, man. He's done it for. I've messed with him for like 40 years. I tell him all the time. Between here and Japan, and he's just a tremendous competitor. Like I said the other day as well, he's one of the hardest guys on himself when he doesn't do well, and he's just so prepared for everything that can possibly happen in the game. And when you have a guy like that on the mound, taking the mound every 5th day, it gives you confidence to go out there and try to perform for that guy. So, obviously he has so much respect between with everyone in this clubhouse. So, it's just awesome to go out to see him go out there and perform and be healthy.
Why is tonight going to be different than last weekend in LA?
Why is tonight
going to be different than last weekend in LA?
I don't even know how to answer that question, honestly. I don't know why. How's tonight? All right, how is tonight going to be different than last week in LA? Is that even a question? How's that? Yeah? I did? I just don't know how to answer that question, honestly. I really don't.
Let me rephrase it. What are you guys going to do differently than what happened last week in LA to get different results?
Okay, so we want different results. Try to win. Obviously. I think that's a key. But just play baseball like we've been doing the last 3 days. I think we'll be pretty good if we can repeat that.
All right, so you can tell. I said, and we said, the second they lost the manner in which they lost last year, this is a narrative that is so hard to escape. And then when you further supplant it by not playing well like last weekend, they want nothing to do with it. And you can tell inside Manny is seething, but he's trying to remain calm. And I understand it. There's all these weird dynamics playing out. Last weekend doesn't have to do with this weekend unless you make it have something to do with it. So it's just kind of a weird situation to be in. In the clubhouse, all the media wants to ask about is what can you do to beat the Dodgers?
Well, we know what they need to do. Manny needs to be better against the Dodgers. He didn't make that one play on Friday night last week.
The diving try
that he should have made, and he'll tell you that he should have made that. They got to be better with runners in scoring position. They can't run into outs on the base paths like they did. They got to be better defensively. They have to get more length and better outings from their starting pitching. That's what they need to do to be better to get different results this weekend.
Or score another. He was like
he doesn't like the question because
twice he didn't like Derek's question. The first question he had him re-ask, and then he's like, he just you know how Manny can be, and I understand. Honestly, I'm okay with it because most athletes, 99% of them will never do what Manny just did there. They'll just play the game and they'll go along with it. But Manny wears his emotions on his sleeve. You know that these mean more. You can say they don't. It's just another game. They mean more. The problem is when you treat something like it means more, you're maybe setting yourself up for same results.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give Manny too much crap for, not answering that question. We'll answer the question for him, and we just did. So that's what it is. Like he's not going to say it, but we'll say it. And what we say about it is what everybody is thinking in that clubhouse. They might not say it to the media, but they're thinking this. They know they have to be better with runners in scoring position against the Dodgers. They know they have to step up their star players.
Mm-hmm.
They know that their starting pitching has to be better. Like, they know it.
Right.
But they're just going to act like everything's fine. And I get that. You don't want to give any mental edge to the Dodgers being like, oh, yeah. I mean, imagine if Manny came out to the media and he said what we have all said for the last year here. They're in our heads. Imagine if we went Pedro Martinez route.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
No, I mean,
he'll never do that.
He never will. And honestly, there's no winning with this conversation other than winning on field. Honestly, imagine if he was asked, thankfully he wasn't asked this. Imagine if we were in there and you said, hey, Manny, why is it that you've struggled so mightily against the Dodgers in your career and more specifically this year?
Oh, that would.
I mean, he's got a 584 OPS.
I know.
In 45 plate appearances against the LA Dodgers this year.
He's had one good game.
Yeah, the 5 RBI game.
5 RBI game. That was really good.
Which is, but everything else has been abject failure this year.
And if you want to go further, go look at his numbers in the postseason against the Dodgers last year.
I don't want to do it. I know we did it 2 days ago.
Not great.
Right. And they weren't good. And I don't even want to do his lifetime numbers against the Dodgers because there's a lot in there. But he's got to be better in these big series. It's not just the Dodgers. It's postseason series.
Yeah.
Not just against the Dodgers. It's postseason series.
100%.
So, and he recognizes it. It's a weird thing with him that in some of those bigger moments, those have not been his moments to shine necessarily. Right. I think that's fair to say. In a Padres uniform, has he always shined the brightest when the lights are the brightest? The answer is no.
No. I mean, last postseason, he was 5 for 28.
Overall,
179 average.
Yeah. So that tells the story.
He, against the Dodgers, 5, 10, 14, 18, 21. He was 4 for 21 in the series with a home run, 2 RBIs.
Right. That's right.
So
it's right. He knows it. And I'm guessing that you put some additional pressure on yourself. When you put additional pressure on yourself, you don't get, that doesn't make it better to get results.
No, it doesn't.
You know,
I get it. Manny doesn't want to talk about failures. He just go forward, just go forward, just go forward. It's baseball. It's baseball. It's baseball. If that is what he needs to do to get himself ready for these games, then that's what he's going to do.
Right.
And he's never going to go deeper into, why do you guys not perform well against the Dodgers?
No, he's never going
to do it.
By the way, just to the point of hey, big series for Manny and just for the Padres in general. But listen to the pitching you're facing. It was similar to last week, but Snell, 1.8 ERA this year. Glass now, 3.12.
Yep.
Yamamoto, 2.90 ERA. The combined ERA of those 3 starters is sub 3 this year. Runs are at a premium. I get it. It's hard. It's easy for me to be like, hey, man, he just goes 6 for 12.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
right?
but and maybe he does do it. He's capable of doing it. But this is where it's hard to be really good against elite pitching. We talk about that all the time. And they're facing, by and large, those are some of the better pitchers in the National League that they're facing this weekend.
For Manny, it comes down to late game situations because, you look at his numbers in the postseason last year. He did have a home run, I think, in game 1 off of Kershaw.
Early.
Yeah. But it's what he does late or what he doesn't do late, which is the problem. And can he have a big moment late in a game off of the relievers for the Dodgers? That's kind of what you're looking for. He's had moments where he'll hit a 2-run homer in the first inning off of somebody. That's great. I'm not saying it's not, but, would I rather have him hit a 2-run homer in the 8th inning to give the Padres the lead or tie the game up? I'd rather have that than a first inning 2-run homer.
Yeah, and honestly, if there's going to be a time where you can hit the Dodgers bullpen, this hasn't been their best bullpen in franchise history.
Yeah,
the way it's played out this year. So maybe he does capitalize at some point moving forward. Why don't we hear from Mike Schilt on the other side, the Padres manager with the media? What will he have to say about game 1 of this series? Also, an update on Jackson Merrill coming up from Mike Schilt. We will get to the wrap as well coming up, and Kevin Acee will join us live at 5 p.m. We are here until 6. Got you covered for Padres and Dodgers again. Game 1 tonight at Petco Park. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. We've been telling you all about our friends over at Jamul. Now open the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It's the next level of luxury. It's arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort. Now all in one unforgettable destination.
And now open is Jamul 23 with endless dining. Every day, savor San Diego's ultimate dining experience at Jamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to their VIP endless dining experience each evening. Indulgent chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
You can catch all the sports action this weekend at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. It's the ultimate sports showdown. You can catch the Padres live, plus great food at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, where fandom meets fantastic at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres Dodgers tonight start a 3-game series at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish is on the mound for the Padres. Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers. And tomorrow night, STFC takes on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium. 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. You can listen to that match right here in your home of STFC, San Diego Sports 760. How many times have we all said that was easy? Well, the Staples Easy button is back, and it's got everyone saying it again for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos, plus quality products delivered next day to over 98% of the U.S. staples. That was easy.
It's another Padres Dodgers weekend. This time in our house, Petco will be rocking all weekend, and we get you all ready for the series. Tonight, Blake Snell returns to America's finest city versus... Now we get inside the matchup with all the analysis and breakdown live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 3 of John and Jim. We're getting you ready for a huge weekend and series when it comes to this rivalry being renewed. Padres and Dodgers tonight, game 1 of a 3-game series. And we will hear from Mike Schilt momentarily as he updates us on Jackson, Merrill, and of course gets us ready for this series as well. Now, Kevin Acee is going to join us at 5 p.m. With much more. So Kevin will join us at 5 p.m. We've got a ticket giveaway for you today as well. We've got a 4-pack of tickets to see Nelly. We'll give those away coming up later this hour. Are you excited to hear Mike Schilt?
Yes, because I have seen a spoiler for something that Mike Schilt says, and I'm actually kind of shocked that he says this one thing.
Okay.
Like I'm shocked that he says this one thing that we're going to hear coming up next.
All right, so I'm very curious. So this starts with Mike Schilt being asked for an injury update on Jackson Merrill.
We sat down with Jackson today. He feels better today, incremental improvement, the most improvement he's had since the beginning of this. And we're still in the evaluation mode about what it looks like, but he is improving, and we'll see what he's available for today.
So clearly no decision on an IL stint if it's coming. You're going to take another couple of days to evaluate?
No clear decision. That's correct.
Okay. What's the latest on Michael King and his schedule?
Michael's going to throw a simulated game here on Sunday, and then based on that, we'll evaluate what happens next.
Jackson, how do you balance knowing what you can backdate to and what could become available at the end versus aim for now?
I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's a balancing act. We want to clearly have Jackson on our team, so we want to see what that looks like and when that could be a real possibility and whatever role that could be, whether it's off the bench or clearly getting back in the lineup versus, backdating it and knowing that, we're playing with a, roster that's a little shorter. So had that conversation today. We feel comfortable where we are, and it's just going to be a literal day-to-day evaluation. And if we get to a point sooner rather than later that we don't believe, within a 3-day period he's going to be able to come back and contribute, then we will have to consider doing something.
The improvement, how would you quantify what the improvement is?
Like I said, it's kind of hard to actually quantify, but there's definitely a couple step functions of improvement today relative to what the 4 days previous were, which were kind of flatlined.
Has he done anything like
no, I mean, we're just making sure he's combination resting and getting exercise and getting the treatment. He's working on the bunting to keep his timing with his eyes down, and but as far as baseball activity, nothing otherwise.
Repeated the question we asked you a week ago. Is it just another series?
Yeah, we have however many series on the schedule that we play, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's got significance. Obviously, I mean, we're right there, for the National League West, right in the position we expected to be in, and this is what we play for. So, to say it's just another series would be not completely accurate in a sense, but yeah, we're excited about it, and it's a great opportunity for us, and we're ready to go.
How important is it for this team to have a chance to control their own destiny to come playoff time, come division?
Oh, I think it's really important. Listen, that's what we talk about from spring training into the season, and it's what we can do and what we can control, and our expectations for our team, and people have the expectations, understandably, externally, but internally, our expectations are to win this division and take care of business every single day. So that's what we look to do.
So did you catch that?
Did Mike Schilt actually break character and say that this matters?
I think he did.
He broke character.
It's okay to be honest sometimes and not BS around the corner. Like, this is a big series. You can acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was step one last week that went sideways, is that he wouldn't acknowledge that it was a big series. Marty asked the same question to him last week at Dodger Stadium, and he beat around the bush and said it's just another series.
Right. I remember that.
And then now he's acknowledging, you know what? You're right. It is a big series. This is not just another series. You're right, Marty.
Yeah, I mean,
and
the way
it's
they
like,
went about it
thank
last
you.
time. Yeah, and it didn't work last time. And this goes back to my point earlier where their lineups didn't work last time. So why would you keep going down the same path? You just faced Blake Snell and you didn't have success against him. Why wouldn't you switch it up? You just played the Dodgers. You pretended like it was any other series, but in actuality, it isn't. And by the way, what's wrong maybe with elevating this series and this opponent and putting them on a pedestal and seeing if that elevates you? If you say this isn't the Pirates at home, it's not. And that's okay. Not every series has to be treated like, well, it's the most important game because it's the game in front of us. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. I mean, the Dodgers aren't treating their season like that. They've been able to get up for these Padres series, clearly. I'm talking about LA. Hopefully the Padres get up for the Dodgers and treat it like it really matters. Stop wrapping your mind in circles to pretend like something is out there that it's a big deal. So make it a big deal and take advantage of it being a big deal.
You know, I'm probably going to once again feel like Lucy pulling the football out.
Do it.
But Mike Schilt actually acknowledging the fact that this is a big series and it's not just another series, it makes me feel a little better about them going into this 3-game set against the Dodgers. Because you're right. Don't try to water this thing down.
No.
This is not the Pirates. This is not the Rockies. This isn't even the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a big series because you are chasing the Dodgers. They are your rivals, all right? And vice versa. So treat it as such. This is a big series for both teams, not just the Padres. So don't try to poo-poo this thing to make it feel like it's not as big as it really is.
You know what? I think Manny tried to poo-poo it.
I think he did, yeah.
But again, I think what he's doing is he's playing mind games with himself. That's what I feel like is happening with the Padres. They're trying to pretend like it's not a big deal, but it's actually a big deal. So stop with the song and dance.
Well, Mike Schilt didn't. He actually acknowledged
I know, and I
it.
give him credit for it, but it's August 20, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you could have done this to start the year. Stop.
He's like, I have to acknowledge it now. There's no other choice.
You should have started the year by being like, what happened last year is kind of where we start this year. Like that was a big deal. The way we lost our year last year was a big deal. We're going to try to overcome what happened last year. And hopefully they will, but I'm with you. I think that was a step in the right direction. Like admitting you have a problem is the first step in admitting realizing you have a problem.
Admitting this is a big series is the first step in maybe getting over that hump against the Dodgers.
But then Manny's getting into like semantics with Derek Togerson, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
It's whatever.
Exactly. But I do agree that it's a step in the right direction. Now, I don't want to walk down, like you and I are both walking down the same path. We're like, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We need to see it with our own two eyes. And by the end of this show at 6 p.m., we're going to be like, they're winning this series, man. Like, you got to be. I'm still cautious heading into the series. I'm still cautious heading into the series.
And it just, when you add in the division race to the conversation, along with the fact that these teams have history against each other and there's a rivalry there and there's a strong dislike between the two organizations, that's when it makes what Mike Schilt said there refreshing. Because this is not just, oh, we don't like those guys. It's a big series. No, it's we don't like those guys. And oh, by the way, we're trying to win a division and they're in our way. So because of that, that's why it's also a massive series for us. Now it just makes it even bigger because of the history we have, but if it were, say, swap out the Dodgers for the Rockies and the Rockies were a game up on you in the division, it's a big series because of that.
I've made that. You're right. And I agree. And I've made that point with some trolls on social. Like, why are you talking about the Dodgers losing and the Padres winning? I'm like, because they're a game behind the Dodgers.
Right.
If they were a game behind the Toledo Mud Hens, I would mention it. If they were a game behind the Richmond Flying Squirrels, I would mention it. It's a big deal. There's been no division winner in San Diego since 2006. And they're a game back of the division with 34 to play.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that it is the Dodgers adds additional intrigue, of course, but it's a big deal. If it's the final day of the regular season and it's Padres Rockies to win the division for those two teams, it would be a massive game. It would be massive if it was Padres Rockies, but it's a massive deal as well because of the Dodgers.
Right.
So, listen, what Mike Schilt said today, actually, that is Not just surprising, it's shocking.
I'm actually very surprised he said that.
Yeah.
Like Marty asked him the exact same question. You heard the question there from Marty. Like, I asked you last week. I'll ask you again. What do you think? Kind of give him like a second chance.
Right.
Because last week he just poo-pooed it. And it's just another series. We're just going out there and play baseball. Another series. And at the time, they had a 1-game lead in the division.
They had the right, exactly, as opposed to being one back.
And if that was Mike's message to the team, well, it didn't work because you played like crap. So hopefully, the message hopefully is flipped. Like, this is a big series, guys. We need everyone on their A game. Right? We need to play our best baseball. And we're not going to play like we did last weekend. We're going to go out there and we're going to play Padres baseball. And it's a big series. I hope that's the message in the clubhouse.
I agree with that. I agree. It's funny. I don't know if it is because we don't have the audio right now. I watched an interview with Xander from postgame yesterday that Marty posted right on our YouTube channel with Xander Bogaerts. Yeah, I very much enjoy listening to him.
I do too.
And it was 4 or 5 minutes. It was very good. But he was asked specifically, like, does it mean more? And he was like, not for me. He's like, I can't speak for the other members of the team, but like, no, I mean, he's like, I think we're playing good baseball. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, whether it's the Dodgers or whomever else, we're playing good baseball. That's what matters most. I don't need the Dodgers to get up for this upcoming series. He went down that path. He was being very honest in a very Xander way. He's very thoughtful. He'll take a moment, he'll think about it, and he'll answer in a manner in which he's well spoken. But he didn't go down the path of it's a bigger series because it's the Dodgers. Manny certainly didn't want to go down that path when we played him 30 minutes ago. But I don't know what they truly believe in their heart of hearts.
The other thing that Mike Schilt said there, and he started off talking about Jackson Merrill, sounds like Jackson Merrill probably is going to go on the IL here soon. If he's not able to do any baseball activities other than just stand there and bunt, like, you're going on the IL, dude.
Well, they have to put him on today if they're going to retro date it to the injury.
Right.
If they don't put him on today, they would have to start his clock of the IL tomorrow.
So AJ Caswell just tweeted out, if Merrill is not on the IL by first pitch tonight, which seems like the likeliest outcome, it would indicate the Padres feel good about a return for now. They can backdate the IL stint, so Merrill returns on 8/29. But after today, that date starts to get pushed back.
Right.
I feels like they're going to put him on the IL, but at the same time, we've talked about it. If they put him on the IL and they bring up a player,
is that player helping?
Yeah, exactly. Or is that player just going to occupy space on the bench?
What Schilt said, coupled with what Merrill sounded like yesterday, coupled with Casavell's reporting, I would agree with you that it's more likely than not he goes on the IL. But we'll see, and we should have more of an indication between now and 6:40. All right, we'll get to the wrap coming up on the other side. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5 p.m. with much more as the Padres and Dodgers prepare for their final regular season series of the year. It's game 1 tonight between LA and San Diego at Petco Park. The wrap is on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acey joins us live at 5 p.m. with more on tonight and this weekend. Padres, Dodgers, final time in the regular season. All right, so here until 6 p.m. we have those Nelly tickets to give away. We'll do that coming up later this hour. And right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will you be watching college football tomorrow? John won't.
John won't. Here's the thing.
I know that's a joke because he totally will.
Well, here's the problem. Me and Jim are
Actually,
going to Anaheim.
won't.
Going to Anaheim. Oh, I'm taping everything. Like literally like a beta, like VHS. I'm going to tape it. We're going to Anaheim for the West Coast Card Show.
Yeah.
Which is getting in the way of week 0.
For you.
Yes, for me. Now, it's not week 1.
No, it's not. But still, college football starts tomorrow.
Do I want to miss Kansas State, Iowa State from Dublin? I do not. Do I look like the type of guy that wants to miss Kansas State, Iowa State, and Dublin? I don't.
Isn't it like early though? What time are you going to the show?
We're going to like 8 in the morning.
Oh God.
I think the game's at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 8 or 9.
Well, when we drive up, we can just put it on our phones and just put it on like the dashboard. And we can just watch it
drive off a cliff.
That's
I'm
true.
like 3rd and 1. We're dead.
I forgot you're driving.
Yeah.
Are you a good driver?
I go 50.
Oh gosh.
55. What's the speed limit?
I
70?
remember Kristen telling me that you're like an awful driver.
She has said that, but you should see how bad she is. She thinks she's the absolute. I would not be caught dead unless she kills me in a car that she is driving.
That bad, huh?
That bad. I have not been in the car with Kristen driving in 10 plus years.
Well, the only time have I driven with you before? I don't think I have.
Yeah, no,
I
one
have,
time and you're like, you are a terrible driver.
I was like scared for my life.
Because I was going 35 on the like highway.
Yeah, it was not good. And then the one time that you got a ticket for running a red light, and then you got and I saw the video and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I hit like 5 curbs.
And I knew I knew you were on your phone. You didn't stop. You hit a curb. You were like racing up to the stoplight, and then you hit a curb as you turned.
I was just
didn't
oblivious.
stop.
You're right. It was bad.
It was very bad.
What was the question? I'll be watching college football.
Yes.
Certainly when I get home. You know the first thing I do when I get back? Hawaii, Stanford from the islands on CBS. I'll be watching.
Padres, Dodgers at 5:15.
Hawaii, Stanford's before then.
Will we be back before then?
Yeah, definitely. Well, because we're taking my 6-year-old. There's no way we're going to be able to be there for like 8 hours. So get your Pokemon stuff done.
I will.
Oh, no, we'll be there for a while.
We'll be there for a good amount. It's like what, 1,100 tables?
Do they have a children's like daycare? We just drop them off.
If you dropped off Jones at a children's daycare at a card show, and you told Kristen, she would murder you.
Yeah, probably. Next question.
Will Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a home run this weekend? Just one.
Like over the wall?
Like a ball that hits over the fence?
Or
in fair territory, not like a foul ball.
No, he will not hit a home run this weekend.
Ooh, the jinx.
Well, now you just ruined it.
No, this is a reverse jinx. I'll say yes.
Okay, well, we got it both covered.
We have it both covered. I say yes. Toddy homers off Blake Snell tonight.
That'd be nice. Just like a leadoff home run. 450.
453.
Nice.
Toddy.
That'd be nice.
Next question.
Who's the biggest X factor for the Padres this weekend?
Is this a trick question? X?
Xander? I'll go with Manny Machado.
I like that.
If I just have a good series. I feel like if he has a good series, you're going to give yourself a really good chance to win.
You go with Manny. I'll tell you who I'm going to go with. Mike Schild.
Oh.
Mike Schild. Play to win the game.
You play to win the game.
Because in close games, you'll be under the microscope. Make the right calls. Make the right decisions. Bullpen, whatever else. Lineups, whatever else. Mike Schild, you're under a microscope here this weekend. Make yourself look good. Next question.
Is tomorrow a must-win game for San Diego FC versus Portland?
All right, so tomorrow night, there are 12 different scenarios for STFC to clinch a playoff berth. 12. There is only one that I care about.
Win and in.
Win and in.
Are they draw and in?
Win or draw and in.
Win or draw and in.
Win or draw or in. Sorry. Win or draw and in. Or I don't want to read all of these because there's like a million. And there's so many here. But the easiest path is just win or draw and you're in.
Right.
So yeah, tomorrow's a massive game for STFC to clinch a playoff berth on August 22nd as an expansion team
with 7 matches remaining
is ridiculous. And by ridiculous, I mean like
unheard of.
It's amazing.
But here's the other thing. They are tied for the most points in the league in Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
And if you win the points title, it's the Supporters Shield, right? A significant accomplishment, a huge accomplishment. So the wins are so important right now. They have 52 points. Cincinnati has 52 points. Philadelphia has 51. So you got 3 teams within 1 point of each other in San Diego, Philadelphia, and Cincinnati. These are all massive. You got to keep piling up these wins. Not just a playoff spot is on the line. The Supporters Shield is on the line. The top seed in the Western Conference is on the line over the next 7 matches. So amazing opportunity. You're right. It's like unprecedented, rarefied air that they're walking in right now this August.
Yeah, it's just they've had an incredible season.
Crazy.
It's going to go down if they do end up winning the Supporters Shield, finishing in first in the Western Conference, hell, making
winning
the MLS Cup. I have to go back in the history of MLS, but to me, I think that would be one of, if not the greatest expansion seasons in the history of the sport.
Would have to be, right?
I mean, they're already on verge of having the greatest regular season in expansion team history. I don't know if any expansion teams in their first year have won the MLS Cup, but my guess is not many, if any.
I don't know the answer to that. But I do know they're 16, 7, and 4 this year with 6 consecutive road wins. They're playing Portland again tomorrow night at Snapdragon, and Portland in playoff positioning, SDFC in first place in the Western Conference again. Still playing for that Supporters Shield in their inaugural year.
I just asked
in Major League Soccer.
I just asked, of course, ChatGPT.
Why don't we just have ChatGPT on the show?
Well, it's a great source to find information really quickly. Said, have any expansion teams won the MLS Cup in their first expansion year? ChatGPT says no MLS expansion team has ever won an MLS Cup in their very first season.
The reason I don't buy that is the first year of MLS, every team was an expansion team.
That is correct. 1998, Chicago Fire. They won the MLS Cup and the U.S. Open Cup in their inaugural season. This is the only time an expansion team has pulled that off. But
interesting. That was the first.
That was the first year. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
LAFC in 2018, they had a strong first season, but they were knocked out in the playoffs. They later won the MLS Cup in 2022. The Atlanta United made the playoffs in their debut season, and then they won the MLS Cup the following year in 2018.
So the answer is no.
The answer is technically yes,
because
but
it's the first year of the league.
Right, but it's really no.
It's no. It's no. All right. You can listen tomorrow night right here on San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee coming up at 5 p.m. We're getting you ready for the Padres and the Dodgers from Petco tonight at 6:40. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Padres Dodgers. They start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against old friend Blake Snell for the Dodgers. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium. If they win or draw, they will clinch a playoff spot. 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. You can listen to that match right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Need better sleep this Labor Day weekend? Upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect bed and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy. Shop Mattress Firm's best sale of the year.
All right, John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acey joins us live at 5 p.m. We're getting you ready for tonight down at Petco. And if you missed it yesterday, great conversation with a dear friend, John and Jim, Alan Sliwa, the Sliwa Show on YouTube, San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan. And we caught up with him on the upcoming weekend. We started the conversation by asking about his excitement level for tonight.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I think it's always, I mean, at this point of the year, just seeing how the Padres have matched up against the Dodgers, obviously so deflating last weekend in LA, losing all three. It's just, you can't walk in, I think, to a matchup against the Dodgers feeling really good about anything. Now, go win a game on Friday. I do agree, John, that it kind of sets the tone of what does it mean for the rest of the weekend? I mean, I have a difficult time saying, hey, take 2 or 3. I have a difficult time saying, you can walk away from this series tied with the Dodgers in the division. Like, it's so tough to think about what Monday holds. Just, can you win a game against the Dodgers? Can you just take one on Friday? Can you, by the time you get to Sunday, put yourself in a position where you got a shot to win the series against them? So, I mean, optimistic, I don't know how you can be optimistic about it, to be honest with you. And I don't want to make it sound like I've tried, which I don't do a very good job of this, of not making a big deal about Dodgers and the Padres. It's really difficult to do. But what are the Dodgers now? I want to 8-2, I want to say. It's either 8-2 or 7-3, whatever it is. But they've obviously clearly dominated the Padres through the first 10 games. You got to see something to make you feel good about something, and we just haven't seen that yet this year.
Manny Machado, he's not played well against the Dodgers this year or in the postseason last year. I'm not going to say it's the end-all, be-all if he doesn't have a good series again against the Dodgers this weekend, but at some point, you'd like to see Manny show up, have a pretty big series against the Dodgers, right? I feel like this weekend, hey, you're not going to have a chance to play them again until probably the NLCS with how things are shaping out if neither of those teams get a 2 seed. I mean, this kind of feels like, is this got to be a big series for Manny here?
Well, it was a good, at least these last few days, you feel a little bit better about Manny than what he's been over the course of the last 30 days, you want to call it. But you need your big boys to deliver. It's interesting. The first 2 games, I want to say, Dodgers and the Padres over the weekend, I want to say, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Mookie really didn't do all that much in those first 2 games. And it's kind of like, well, they're going to eventually, the big boys are going to eventually come through, and they came through on Sunday. Freeman hits the 2-run homer, obviously, or a 3-run homer. Mookie did what he did. You need the same thing from your guys with the Padres. And I think the Manny piece of it is big. The one thing that I just, you're at Dodger Stadium, and obviously the reaction that Dodger fans have towards Manny. Does that get into his head a little bit? You're here in San Diego, and it's not just the Manny thing, but everybody feels a little bit of, there is a little added pressure. And are you trying to do too much? I think maybe in life it's like, well, if I just try harder, I don't know how much that would help any of these players from a baseball perspective. It almost seems like in baseball, the harder you try to, the more you're pressing, the more it's going to hurt you. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, you got so many guys since the trade deadline that have done such a great job, but I still kind of go back to the same thing. It's like your guys that are getting paid the most money and are asked to be your franchise players. If they don't come through for you, you're going to have problems. You're going to have issues. And I think Manny's no different than some of these other players on the team that obviously they need to come through.
Alan Sliwa with us. I think it's a really good point on, just these big pieces to the puzzle. I mean, how do you win without the big pieces contributing, specifically in the postseason? You mentioned the deadline additions. I think we had you on actually the day after the deadline. What has been your reaction to putting this puzzle, so to speak, together, and how some of these pieces like Ramon Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn, Freddie Fermin, Mason Miller, how they fit into the overall body of work?
I think my, mentality with the Padres before the deadline, there was a lot of just, hey, just get to the playoffs. Anything can happen. Maybe you can go on one of those runs like the Nationals did or Diamondbacks get into the World Series, but you don't want to depend on that. I think after the trade deadline, and I think as we sit here today, it's like, no, offense is clearly better. The lineup is much deeper. You feel much more confident about guys at the bottom of the order than you ever did. Even guys like Gavin Sheets. Okay, maybe he's not going to get as many at-bats, but now when he does get in the lineup, he's still a little bit dangerous. Or Iglesias can be dangerous, but they're not dependent on a day in, day out basis. So the team is clearly better. And I agree with you guys. I was listening to you guys, not just today, but just in general. I do agree that there are expectations now, especially just how close you are to potentially winning the division or just being in the mix here the final 30 days or so. The expectations are different now. I think if whatever your expectations were before the season started and where, Padre fans sit today, I think it's different for everybody. Obviously, Preller went all in. You can't go any more all in than he did. So now you have, expectations that come with it. And these next 3 days aren't going to determine the world, but it would be nice to get a little bit of momentum against a team that has clearly been the class of baseball for a handful of years.
Alan, what's the, biggest concern that you have with this Padres team in the remaining 30-ish games leading into the postseason?
Yeah, I don't think it's talked about enough. Or maybe it is. Maybe I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Starting pitching scares me. I think the starters. I'm not sure what any of these guys. I mean, Pavetta's been phenomenal all year long. Give him a ton of credit. But do you know what a Dylan Cease outing is going to be on a night in, night out series, or every time that he gets the ball? Do you know what? I just was listening to you guys talking a little bit about Darvish and in his 8 starts so far this year, and 2 of them you could say were good, and the other 6 just not getting the job done. My concern is the starting pitching, and you've heard Schill talk a lot about how you just don't want to use. Obviously he wants to be very strategic with the bullpen. It is probably the class of all baseball when it comes to a bullpen, but you still need starters to shove, and you still need guys to give you some good innings. So how much are you going to rely on JP Sears? How much are you going to rely on some of these other arms? To me, the starting pitching is, I understand why they did what they did at the trade deadline, but they also, gave up some arms that were dependable for them that could have got them through the rest of the regular season. And I think to me, that's what worries me.
Alan Flewa with us right now on John and Jim. I'm just curious, Alan, coming off last year, right? The disappointment in the postseason. Did you expect the Padres to be in this exact, they almost, you could argue, I guess, are better position than they were a year ago at this time, because the Dodgers have come back to earth, so to speak. Last year, Dodgers still won that division by 5 or 6 games. I think they won 98 games. It'll be very hard for them to win 98. So I guess the question is, are you surprised that the Padres, just a year after the disappointment, might arguably be better positioned than they were when they appeared to be pretty darn well positioned last year?
Yeah, I am surprised. I think, for all San Diegans, you know how many cracks you're going to get at this, and you don't know. I know the baseball's different than when it was, growing up, and obviously they make it to the World Series in '98, and just the way the baseball landscape is, it's completely different. So in today's game, you got a shot, which I think is smart from Major League Baseball to just give so many more cities an opportunity, have some hope going into September. But I think for a few reasons, I wasn't coming into the season. There was this, I just didn't have a great feeling about it. I really thought just by getting into one of those wild card spots, you would feel like, hey, Preller, the crew, here they are again. They're showing their face again. It would be 4 out of 6 years that they make the playoffs. I am surprised at the position they're in, but listen, they've also, and this isn't a conversation of don't give up the farm, because I do think what they're doing, and I think San Diego's repaying them by saying, give us a product that we can be proud of, and we'll come out here and support. I think I saw the numbers you guys were mentioning about potentially 3.4 million at I think by the end of the season, whatever the case is. But they did give up the farm. So the expectations do change because you've given up your future in order to contend today. And I don't think there's many San Diegans that go against that theory. But because they did, the expectations changed as we sit here today. There is no, I think just looking at their positioning now, if they don't win the division, there will be some disappointment. If they do end up the 5th seed and they're on the road in a wild card, there would be some disappointment. Now, what you do in the postseason is more important, but I think they've at least put themselves in a position where they can do some real damage between now and the end of the regular season and give themselves a shot.
What do you make of Fernando Tatis Jr.'s season?
I think it's safe to say we all want to see, and I've heard people kind of mix this. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have the power, but, he's still hitting the ball hard. I think of Tatis 3-4 years ago, and I think of how basically San Diego is like, we got our guy. We got the face of this city in Fernando Tatis Jr. And I think there are times, he's really, really effective in a game. And it's because of a stolen base. It's because his play in right field. It's because he's able to maybe stretch from first to third just by sheer instincts. And that single, he sees it fall and he gets to third base and Padres end up scoring a run. It could change kind of the complexion of a game. But, there's also a piece of Tatis where, again, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Manny side of things. And I'm not saying that the Padres aren't going to win a World Series because Manny and Fernando are the only two guys delivering. But I think the Padres can win a World Series if Manny and Fernando are delivering with everything else that they have and everything else that Preller has built. So I think that's kind of a roundabout answer that I almost put Machado and Tatis sometimes in kind of like the same category. You're the faces of the franchise. You're supposed to deliver. And hopefully, we're sitting back and the conversation is less about those two because they are delivering. And, he's had clearly an up and down season. The drought he has from a home run perspective, that's not good. Being 29th in Major League Baseball in home runs, that's not good. So you do need those two guys. And I think they kind of both sometimes fall in the same category, whether that's fair or not.
Great perspective, Alan. We always appreciate you taking time for us. We're looking forward to this weekend and really these final 30-something games of the regular season and the postseason as well. Appreciate you doing it, Alan. Hope you're doing well, and we will do it again soon, all right?
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, on the other side, we are going to be giving away a 4-pack of tickets to see Nelly with Ja Rule next Wednesday night, August 27th, at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Kevin Acey joins us live at 5 p.m., plus Jim has a bone to pick with ESPN. And we will explain on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin AC joins us in 12 minutes as the Padres and Dodgers square off tonight, coming up in less than 2 hours at 6:40 from downtown at Petco Park. So we have you covered. We're here until 6 p.m. We touched on this earlier in the week. ESPN has already released its brand new product. It is called ESPN.
Oh, wow.
And the way they're taglining it is ESPN all in one place. It's their direct-to-consumer product that they're charging a pretty significant monthly fee for. I think it's $29.99.
Yeah, and that's if you don't have like YouTube TV or
direct to consumer.
Correct.
Right. So you can have nothing else. You can just buy this. You get all the ESPN properties. You can watch all the games on ESPN, all their program.
Yep.
So they've marketed the hell out of it. Of course, it's a massive venture. It's honestly, they have billions of dollars on the line. They have all these rights deals coming in. They've got to sell this
WWE, baseball,
and cable. The reason
NFL,
cable numbers are coming down, so they want direct to consumer numbers going up. Because as they lose cable subscribers, they need the $29.99 a month from everyone that doesn't have cable. So they're pushing this product, and they've run into some snags as they market this to the masses.
So yesterday, SportsCenter on X tweeted out all the icons, all the moments, all of ESPN, all in one place, and it's like a big mural painting of
sports stars.
Yeah, sports figures, talking heads, etc., etc. Okay. This thing got ratioed to the point where they deleted the tweet, and I'll tell you why.
ESPN deleted the tweet. SportsCenter deleted the tweet.
Right. So it got ratioed because of this simple fact. The people and everybody that they put on this mural, it's a joke. And I say it from this standpoint. They have probably, I don't know, upwards of 50 different people on this little mural that they posted on social media, maybe more, right? They have 3 baseball players on it. They have Ohtani, they have Acuna, and they got Aaron Judge.
So out of their 50 plus athletes, only 3 are Major League Baseball players.
Remember the guy in the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary?
The usher?
When he did like the shrug?
The security usher guy?
Yeah, they have that guy on here.
But only 3 baseball players.
But only 3 baseball players. They have Brian Windhorst doing his, why would they do that on here? They have the WNBA like halftime women crew on here. They have 10 WNBA players, and most people can name 10? Only 2 of them. They have who's the quarterback for Michigan that hasn't had a snap yet?
Bryce Underwood.
They have Bryce Underwood on here. They have Arch Manning on here. They have a bunch of random tennis players that you've never heard of.
It's Bryce Underwood. They don't even have the rights to the Big Ten.
They have they got Travis Hunter, who hasn't played a single down in the NFL yet, on here. They got Peyton Manning and Eli Manning on here.
Here's where it
went. They have
haywire.
Mina Kimes with her dog on here.
But here's where it went haywire. Before you continue, they're trying to say that they have the things that you covet as a sports fan that go just beyond the athlete. Hence Brian Windhorst. Hence the 30 for 30s. But it's not explained well. Like having the character in the Jordan documentary, it doesn't really make any sense. I just think I think it's a good idea that completely backfired. They're trying to say we have the personalities and the programming and the stars that you need, but I feel like they went haywire in the execution of it.
Yeah, this thing went so sideways.
Right. How many NFL like stars though? Like, do they have like Mahomes and
they have Mahomes,
Josh Allen?
They got Mahomes in the corner over here.
Lamar Jackson.
They got Lamar. Okay. They got. I mean, they
got some of that.
They got the NFL. In the left hand corner here, they got Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow,
like Barkley or someone like that.
Lamar. They got Barkley. They got Jokic. But where it went sideways is they have 10 WNBA players, 3 baseball players, and like the halftime crew for like the WNBA. And then they have a quarterback that hasn't had 1 snap in college football yet. They have, like, honestly, you could ask me to guess. I have 100 guesses. I have no idea who this person is. Looks like a tennis player. I have no idea who that is.
It definitely looks like a tennis player. No idea.
So anyway, so this tweet went out yesterday.
Yamal is on here. Soccer player.
Okay. So I had this tweet out yesterday, and it got ratioed so hard that they deleted it. When when ESPN deletes something, that's a bad sign.
Right.
So again, like the marketing for it, awful. And it makes you wonder, like, this is what the Padres are going to now, or at least this is who's going to control the Padres is ESPN. ESPN could give two you-know-whats about baseball.
That's a separate conversation.
I know,
because
but
the
still,
Padres thing is just taking down in mud and putting them on the ESPN platform.
True.
They're not. It has nothing to do with Sports Center or Scott Van Pelt or programming.
One of the biggest omissions on this is there's no Scotty Scheffler. There's no golfer. There's not one
There
single.
might be. That guy that looks like a tennis player might be a golfer.
He's
We
not,
don't know.
He's not a golfer. They have no golfers on there.
But here's the problem, dude.
Cooper Flag on there.
This wasn't supposed to be a top. The problem is, it's not like a top 100 list.
No, it's not.
Some random graphic.
But what people are upset about, and I agree, is that the random graphic is like
too random.
Not only is it too random, it's promoting. People are afraid because they think that this is what ESPN's going to try to promote down everyone's throats. Look, I think the WNBA with Caitlin Clark has been wildly successful, and the ratings have gone up. But sometimes people don't want that shoved down their throat.
Can you name the 10 WNBA players in the mural?
I can name Angel Reese, Paige Beckers,
Caitlin
Clark, Sabrina Ionescu. They have, what's her name? She plays for the Sparks. She's like
Cameron Brink.
Yeah, she has played like what, 2 games in her career?
I don't know.
And she's been injured, and she's a model. Like she's better at being a model than she is a WNBA player.
Fred just said ouch back there. Man, you're just going, wow.
They have Asia Wilson.
So the answer is you basically can.
Well, that's the ones I'm finding here. And there's others, but down in the corner here. I don't know. It just I found it interesting that it got destroyed so badly that ESPN
took it down. That's not a good look.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's literally, this product came out, is today Friday? Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it was actually debuted in terms of you could buy it. It was either yesterday or the day before. So yeah, that's probably not a great way to kick off ESPN all in one place, direct to consumer, with a graphic that got ratioed and taken down off social media.
Because it says right here, there's more WNBA players than NFL and college football players on this graphic.
That's bizarre.
Not great.
Kevin AC will join us on the other side as John and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres Dodgers start a 3-game series at Petco Park tonight. The final meeting between the two teams in the regular season. Padres trail the Dodgers in the National League West by 1 game. Yu Darvish will be on the mound tonight for the Padres against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium, 7 p.m. pregame, 7:30 kickoff. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. And if SDFC wins or draw tomorrow against Portland, then they will clinch a playoff berth. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, final hour of John and Jim. We'll kick it off with our Padres insider, Kevin Acee, just about an hour and a half away from the renewal of Padres and Dodgers, and this time around at Petco Park. So, Kevin, as always, we appreciate it as we start the weekend tonight with Padres and LA. Let's start with Jackson Merrill. I know we've talked about him this week. What's expected here? He hasn't yet gone on the IL. Will he avoid it? Will he go on the IL? What's the latest there?
This is the first day where I've heard that he's feeling better. I mean, I just don't see it. We got the off day next Thursday. If he were to go on the IL today, he'd be back for Friday. If he goes on the IL tomorrow, he wouldn't be back till Saturday. He's going to go on, and so on and so forth. So why even put him on now? And also, it would require a 40-man move. I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens when you've got a Manny or a Merrill that goes down, and you think, you know what, if we can have him back 2 days sooner than the full 10 days, and especially here late in the season, why go through all the bother? Now, comes in tomorrow and there was a setback or something like that, then it could happen. But I just had not anticipated this whole time that he was going to go on the IL.
It feels kind of like a little bit of a snake-bitten year for Jackson. The ankle twist here. He got hit in the head that caused him to have a concussion, the hamstring injury at the early of the season when he missed a month. You know, I mean, you don't want to say it's been a sophomore slump for him, but we're August 22nd here, and it kind of feels like it's a snake-bitten / sophomore slump for Jackson Merrill this year.
Right. And which is it, or both? Right. Exactly. It just didn't allow him, this super smart, reactive player, to get into a rhythm too. And I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just kind of seeing what I've heard and also observed. So the pitchers adjust to him and he starts to adjust and boom, he gets hurt or whatever, right? There's been zero rhythm. I don't even know what to take out of this season other than I think we would have to fairly say maybe he's not going to be all that he was last year, but we could be wrong about that too. So yeah, it's just been it hasn't been good, but it's also been weird.
It has been weird. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. What do you think tonight's lineup signifies with all the lefties in there against Blake Snell? We know there's an injury like Jackson Merrill is out, but what do you think it says about Mike Schilt's willingness maybe to write in both Ryan O'Hearn and Gavin Sheets against a left-handed starter?
Riding the hot hand. Don't want to say that there was all this pressure internally. But they talk about stuff all the time. And look, there were people that thought that he should do that. And look, Mike is, I went through and I'm like, gosh, when's the last time they had 4 lefties in against a lefty? Well, it's happened quite a bit, actually. Half a dozen times out of the however many lefties they faced, 35. So, yeah, I mean, it was especially lately when he's been going with the whole Iglesias thing. Yep. But I thought, all right, he's going with the hot hand. Yeah. So he was hearing it from everywhere. And I can't tell you exactly the motivation here other than it really did make sense. These guys, Sheets and O'Hearn, have been hitting lefties, are hot. It probably does and I'll buy into it because I don't get too worked up and I trust Mike Schilt and the analytics department and everybody. They go with who they think is going to be the best to help them win that night. And you know what? I think this is the best lineup to help them win tonight.
And pregame, we heard Mike Schultz speak to the media. He kind of had an omission that I was surprised with, which is he said this is a big series and it's not just another series in August here. That mindset going into this series of, look, it's a big one. We're chasing down the Dodgers. Let's not minimize this thing. It's a big one. Do you feel like that could help the team out? Because last week he was saying the complete opposite.
Well, he was, but the players were maybe more opposite. That's a very interesting point because the players were more buying into, and I'm not trying to say they were making it bigger than it should have been, but they were more willing to talk about, yeah, it's first place. Yeah, it's the Dodgers. Yeah, it's big. And they're less willing to do that this week, though I think we're all looking for something if we're going to really try to find this big contrast. And you're right, Mike. He admitted it last week, but maybe not as much as he was asked or admitted it this week. I don't know. Mike Schilt keeps them all the same. He acknowledged it was big because he's being asked about it. It would be so stupid to say that it's not big. So I think that is why we get that admission out of Mike. I really do think that they have done a good job. Look at how everyone except the Dodgers, and we could talk about hours. Why is it that they have not performed well against the Dodgers this year? They did win the season series last year, but go back to game 4 or 5 and then, in the NLDS and all of this year, and we could talk forever. Why are they so good against everybody else? Okay, whatever. They have done a really good job of making every opponent the same. They have. And I do think that helps them for the most part.
Kevin Acee with us right now, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Do you see it as from Manny's seat? Because we heard Manny in the clubhouse earlier today, and he kind of didn't want to go through the whole song and dance about it being bigger. And I understand that too, like you just said. But against the Dodgers this year, he's hit 220. His OPS is something around 580. He really failed to come through, putting it lightly, at Dodger Stadium this past weekend. Is this magnified this weekend for Manny against the Dodgers?
Sure. Yeah, always is for a star making, his average. I call him $31 million man because even though he's making 17 this year, whatever it is, 13, $31 million man. I was told and taught long ago by baseball executives why certain people make exorbitant money. And you want them to have big numbers at the end of the year. It's for series like this. It's for at-bats like he had 4 times on Sunday and didn't come through. So absolutely. I think you guys know me well enough. I'll generally push back on the sort of thing like making something bigger. You got a 162 game season, but this is big. These are the numbers that you guys, I'm sure, have said, so I don't need to. Terrible year against the Dodgers, and this is look, as we know, there are 31 games after this, but this is their last push to be able to, at least still be 1 game back. Hopefully, for their sake, be tied with the Dodgers coming out of this series because you have to finish 1 game ahead of them. This is their last time to affect essentially 2 games each night in the standings. This is it. He's got to be better.
Not to say that they still couldn't win the division, even if they lost 2 or 3, but it feels like 2 or 3 kind of has to happen here for them to feel like they can win the division. Because after this, like you said, both teams played a really soft schedule. So you're going to be banking on, now you could get hot, but you're also banking on the Dodgers to lose against bad teams as well. So it's feels kind of like 2 or 3 has to be the outcome this weekend for the Padres, does it not?
Sure. I think we could say 2 or 3 should be what all of us are shooting for, what they're shooting for, however you want. Yeah. Does it need to, has to? Did you think they were going to split in Colorado? You thought they'd at least take 3 or 4 and probably thought they'd sweep the way that they were playing, right? Who knows? But yes, bottom line is I agree with you. This is, 31 to go, 60 to go, 8 to go. This is your last time against the Dodgers. You're at home. You're killing it at home psychologically. And look, I don't want to, I'm almost mad at myself for even mentioning that because whatever, both teams could be really different in, 31 games from the end of this series. But yeah, I think it's big, man. I do.
Thinking about the rotation right now, Kevin. Again, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider with us, and it's really, truly been up and down, right? You have Darvish tonight. struggled so mightily in that first inning and then settled in, but it's like that first inning counts. The same thing recently with like an Esther Cortez. We know that Michael King is out. Darvish is still in a situation where he's made 8 starts. He has not thrown more than 84 pitches this year. Jim made the point that he hasn't thrown more than 90 pitches since what, May of last year?
Yes.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown more than 90 pitches since May of last year. Is there a specific reason for that? Because there have been points in his career where he's been considered a workhorse, and that certainly isn't playing out over the last 2 years.
I think this is a part of what they've been saying basically since before spring training, which is we're going to watch you, Darvish. And then, of course, and that could be fewer pitches. That could be fewer innings. That could be fewer starts. That could be in between starts to kind of work. And so far, you hasn't really changed his in between all that much, from my understanding. So there are different ways that, if it is at all possible, or if it makes sense, stressful innings, guys on base, whatever it is, if it makes sense to take you, Darvish, out, be able to rely on this bullpen, they're going to do it. Everything is with an eye toward you, Darvish turned 39 after his last start, or before his last start, and has missed time each of his 5 seasons with the Padres with elbow issues. So yes, there is something to that. I have not got an answer on any sort of what is the guy? What is the, I don't know. A little bit case by case basis, but zero doubt that is not coincidence, and that we should maybe make a note of it when he goes above 90 or 95 pitches.
Absolutely. We didn't talk to you yesterday, so we didn't have a chance to ask you about Fernando Tatis Jr. brilliant play on Wednesday night. You've watched most of all of these plays that he has made, robbing home runs. Where would you put that as far as one of the better, defensive plays that you've ever seen from Tatis?
I put it below the other one he made that was similar, because it was more like dunking from a standing still position, the catch, and I thought he went further over the wall. But this is a mere mortal judging someone who can do things that, we can't even dream about. So I thought, it was obviously just a fantastic catch. There was the one, and what is it all been in the last 3 weeks that he's, or something like that, or maybe a month and a half, like he's robbed these. There was one, just the second of the 3 that he's done, where he barely ran, had to stop and jump and make a very similar, but I thought more difficult catch. And I thought that's going to be hard to top. That was just absolutely for what, going up and making the Trent Grisham kind of play, the Jackson Merrill kind of play, the Michael Harris 2 kind of play, athleticism, timing, just that what we think of as the robbing catch, right? The kid in Oakland. There's some really good outfielders out there, but the ability that Tatis has to basically roll out of bed, walk out to the right field wall, jump up and rob a homer, that's amazing.
And it's the first thing I thought of was your article back in 2021. You'll probably remember this. And the picture of the article is Tatis in right field in shorts, in a t-shirt, making a play at the wall. And you said Tatis continues to work towards move to the outfield for the Padres. It's like that play that he was practicing there has happened now 4 or 5 times over the last 4 years. It's kind of incredible.
I remember standing next to AJ Preller in the dugout, and Preller just being like, "Are you kidding me?" And his thought being, jeez, this guy's going to get hurt. Is he going to go, giving him another opportunity to go throw his body against the, at that point, Tatis is 22 and just is playing a certain type of way. And I totally remember that day. That was absolutely, that was when Toddy was Toddy too, right? Not to give you, Jim, another reason to talk about Tatis not being Tatis anymore. But that was also when we just expected that every time he showed up at the ballpark, we were going to see something insane.
Which is funny.
And that was it. And I remember that. He's done a really good job to become this guy, right? He had a weird ass play. I don't know what kind of ghost he heard out there yesterday with Laureano in center field, and then he completely tried to make up for it. I felt like on the next play by charging too hard, and it stands out now. This guy knows how to play outfield. So those were 2 weird plays back to back. He has become a legit outfielder, and I remember when And 23, sorry, he's got me excited because I'm just like amazed at what kind of athlete he is. I remember in 23 when he was taking all these circuitous routes to the ball, but catching them every time. Like, you know, it's like he looks like a guy who hadn't played there. And now he's just a right fielder, and it's never going to stop. And he's probably going to win some more platinum gloves.
One of the crazier stats now is he's robbed more home runs at Petco over the last 18 games than he's hit home runs. So he's robbed 3, and there's just weird
he's
stuff.
Hit 1 and
on.
robbed 3. It's
There's
kind of
weird
wild
stuff going on. But I will say, and we're up against it, Kevin. But I will say, and we've gone down this path so many times, but I have to ask it to you. It feels like he's been better at the plate, does it not? He's seemingly on base constantly over the last 6 or 7 games. We're all still waiting for that home run. But would you agree that it seems like the last 7 or 10 days he's been better at the plate?
And I know you're up against it, so I'll just refer to how we talked last time about, all right, maybe them, him, everybody stops worrying about the home runs and all that. Keep working on stuff. But this Tatis that we're getting, this is winning Tatis. And, okay, It's
been good. It's been good. Kevin, appreciate it. Enjoy this series. We'll catch up Monday.
All right, guys. You enjoy too. See ya.
All right. We'll react to that on the other side. Kevin Acee brought to you by the all-new Humul Casino Resort. The Players' Place is Sean and Jim. Stay with us. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, Mariah Carey, and more September 19th and 20th in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances each weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Your next chance to text and win happens Monday morning at 9 a.m. on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. Good conversation with Kevin Acee as the Padres get ready for the Dodgers here tonight.
The Jackson Merrill stuff is interesting because he's just like, what they're doing is they're just hoping that he wakes up one day and is magically better.
Yeah, and if it's 8 or 9 days in, it's still better than putting him on a 10-day IL.
Correct.
The theory being, well, you still get a day or 2 of them if he's back in 8 or 9 days, as opposed to the 10-day IL. And what other options do you have?
Right.
Is what they're basically saying.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the way that Jackson's played this year, I mean, I hate to say it, the lineup's not missing much right now. If anything, it might be a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like it's a left-handed bat that's out. You've got other left-handed bats in that have had more power this year.
Better years.
That's the thing.
You know, Gavin Sheets had a better year than Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Hearn's had a better year than Jackson Merrill.
Yep. Again, everyone agrees. Merrill's got to get in there. He's going to play every day.
Yeah.
He's a big point for their team. But in the short term, it's nice to have depth. Because the truth is, this lineup might pay more dividends than if he was in it.
Right.
We don't know that. Maybe that's not completely fair. Merrill's a good player. He could have a big role this weekend if he was fully healthy. But with him out, I think they still have you could argue this is their most potent lineup.
Yes, their most
that they've used all year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, 100%. I'm just looking at what Jackson Merrill did before his injury.
Yeah.
So, his seasons, 261, 9 home runs, 51 RBIs, 730 OPS. That's a down year.
Yep.
That's a sophomore slump based off of what he did last year.
Right. So he's been like an average major league hitter.
Yeah. Average. Very average.
Been fine.
Very average. His August, John, 268, 311 on base, 42 slug, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs.
So very similar to his year, truthfully. Because that's a sub 700 OPS, but he has some RBIs. He's had a nice RBI total. Honestly, 51 RBIs.
His July was awful. July was flat out awful.
I mean, remember, didn't he have a stretch where he had 6 or 7 or 8 straight games in the RBI? Maybe that was early August.
I think it was early August.
Remember that?
Yeah, he was quietly having a really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
You okay? Oh, Jim can't talk about it.
Got choked up talking about Jackson Merrill. That was from he had RBIs in 5 straight games.
Okay. But you're telling me, what did he do in July?
Well, John, he hit 196 with a 566 OPS, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs.
Wow.
Yeah. He was not good in June either. 238 with a 656 OPS.
When was he? Oh, when he was good? The first 10 days of the season. I would love to know his stats. I'll look it up on Baseball Reference. Take out the amazing start and the contract extension from that day on.
Oh,
right?
Do it.
That's the stat because he was so good. He was like the 10-day MVP.
Yeah, the hamstring.
Seriously,
the hamstring injury wasn't good because it cost him a month.
And he was so good for such a short period.
We were like, can this guy have 30 home runs?
So he only played literally when he went on the IL after 10 games. Listen to this, guys.
Like 4 home runs or 5 home runs?
378, 415 on base, 676 slug, an OPS of 1090. He had homered 3 times and driven in 10 in 10 games. Now, from that exact moment in time, he goes on with the hammy through today. He has hit 247 with a 687 OPS and hit 6 home runs. That's crazy.
Yucky.
That's crazy. So, again, the story that we're seeing on like his stats, he's had a fine year. The truth is he had an amazing 10 days and everything else has just dropped from that point on.
Yeah, it's not been a good year for Jackson, unfortunately. And because of circumstance, with him out of the lineup, you might have a better lineup tonight than if he were healthy and in it.
It's weird, but it's kind of true, isn't it, guys? Like it's weird, but true. Again, he said, I'm looking at this, Jim, like, okay, for example, since the 10-game start, 16 doubles, 4 triples, 6 homers. It's 26 extra base hits. He's been productive. The 41 RBI is a big number in 81 games. It's a fine number.
What's the day he got his contract extension? Like right before he got his injury, huh?
I thought it was like the day before.
Like
before they went to Chicago? Was it the first week? It was the homestand, was it not?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So within a few days.
Gavin Sheets has had a much better season. 17 home runs, 58 RBI, 760 OPS. His last 7 games, he's hitting 412. His slugging percentage, John, in his last 7 games, get this, 941 slug.
That's what happens when you have a 2 home run game.
That is true.
And you don't play every day.
Correct.
That's how you get a 1,000 slug, not OPS, but slug.
But he has had significantly more pop than Jackson Merrill this year. So from the left-hand side, this might be a better lineup. You know, we've talked a lot about Luis Arise. That's been the whole talking point. Luis Arise. Maybe actually it should be talking about with Jackson Merrill instead.
Well, here's my question. What does Merrill do against left-handed pitching? First of all, he will never platoon.
No.
Okay. As a young player here, he will never, ever, ever platoon. But do you know the answer off the top? Like, what does your head tell you in terms of what Merrill's done against left-handed pitching this year? I'll find it.
My gut is like 220, 230.
230. Listen to this. It's precipitous. 779 against righties, OPS. 779. That's good. 639 against lefties. 639.
What's he hitting against lefties?
He's hitting 238.
Okay. What against righties? Like 260 something? 270 something?
274.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Arise because Arise actually has a higher OPS against left-handed pitching. How about that?
That's crazy.
That's really fascinating. All right, we can
maybe the conversation should be about Jackson Merrill.
It
will never because they will never sit him.
Certain things you write in. Like you're writing in Manny and Toddy and Merrill is now. You're writing him in every single day when he's healthy. All right, we're going to continue this on the other side. Jim's back page coming up. Padres Dodgers game 1 at 6:40. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. So basically, Merrill's a platoon player.
They gave him a huge contract, and he's just very mid.
Yeah. This is going to be a high view show, right? But it's not that. Right? That's so crazy. Your mic's up.
This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres Dodgers start a 3-game series at Petco Park tonight, 6:40. First pitch, Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Blake Snell for the Dodgers. Of course, the Padres trail the Dodgers in the National League West by 1 game. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Portland. If they win or they end the game in a draw, SDFC will clinch a playoff berth. Kickoffs at 7:30. Our pregame starts at 7 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscriptions ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get extra 5% off.
All right, John and Jim, we're an hour out. Here we go again. A weekend of Padres and Dodgers baseball. Here we go again. Are we going to survive it, Jim?
Probably not.
Are we going to overreact to it, Jim?
Probably will.
What will we be saying on Monday? It's like the Hartman headlines segment.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I know this Monday we were very harsh.
Yeah,
it's just been swept by the LA Dodgers. Right. They went.
Could you not be?
They went from in first place to in second place. Now 4 days pass, and with the benefit of time, you would have preferred, of course, to win one of those games. But they're right there still. To be honest, they're right there still. They were in better position a week ago, but they're still right there. But listen, I'll be just as harsh come Monday if they lose 2 out of 3.
Of course,
we're gonna be very critical if they lose 2 out of 3. And guess what? If they win 2 out of 3 or more, I think it'll feel a lot different. So we say that all the time, man. The difference is 1 game. The difference in winning and losing a series is a lot, and that's certainly the case this weekend with the Dodgers here.
Because if they won on this past Sunday, they would be tied right now, right? No,
they'd be up.
They'd be up. Okay,
there was a 2-game swing.
That's
not
right.
A 1-game swing.
You're right. So yeah, if they won Sunday and they only lost 2 or 3, they'd be up a game now. Then, right?
Be up a game, and it was very winnable. They came back from 4-0 down to tie the score, only to allow the home run to Mookie Betts.
Right, but then when you play the way you did in the start the game, and Yu Darvish gives up four runs there, and you're just like, yeah, okay,
yeah. But that was another risk game where they had a zillion opportunities, and they only scored the 4 runs. And they had so many men left on base,
and they worked so hard to tie it up to only see it go away within 3 pitches the following inning.
Felt like 3 seconds. It was a minute.
Yeah,
it was a minute later. It felt
that's where having no power hurts you, because the opposing team, it's like, boom, all right,
just run into a ball.
2 pitches later, home run. For the Padres, it's like they need to go station to station, bunt a couple guys over, have a hit, a knock. Like they need a lot of things to happen for them to score multiple runs in an inning. Rarely do they get 3-run bombs. They got one this past week, which was like, whoa, okay. A little more of that, please. That'd be nice.
4 home run game.
I know.
And
first
again,
time all year.
Expecting it? Of course, you're not expecting it. But is it possible, at least with the O'Hearn Sheets lineup, you can envision home runs being hit with more regularity? And the truth is, someone like Manny, he's going to get his, and he got one, right? He got his 21st here finally.
Yeah.
So, like, there's some guys in there that are going to get there, so to speak. You'd like to think Tatis is that guy, but we can't even have that conversation right now. So, listen, you need to run into another ball or two. They're still 29th in baseball in home runs hit, and the Dodgers are first and second. And that is a big difference between these two teams, what you just laid out. It felt like pulling teeth to score the 4 runs they scored at Dodger Stadium on Sunday. 4 one-run innings.
Right.
4 one-run innings, I think, with rallies, where the Dodgers scored the 4 runs in the 1 inning. It's a different way. It's a different way. You can win both ways, but sometimes you just want to run into a ball, and hopefully they do that this weekend.
And they have won every type of way this past week.
True.
Coming from behind, having all those home runs, scratching and clawing to get up 5 runs on the board. Like they've put together this past week against the Giants. They've won in every type of way. Now, I would prefer the way that they did on Wednesday night, where they hit
homers,
like just bombs left and right. Good pitching, good defense. Fernando Tatis Jr., the amazing catch. Like, I'd prefer them to win games like that than win games like they did on Tuesday night. But again, beggars can't be choosers, and a win is a win, and that's all that matters.
I'll give you a weird stat. They put it on TV, and Kevin wrote it post-game yesterday. The Padres have 20 wins this year when trailing by multiple runs. I wouldn't necessarily expect it based on some of the things we've said about their offense, but they have 20 wins this year when trailing by 2 or more runs. So 20 come from behind wins of 2 or more runs, not a 1-run come from behind win, but 20 of 2 or more runs. So again, has the offense been great? No, the numbers would tell you it hasn't. But have they been like pesky enough, gritty enough? Yeah. I mean, even I go back to yesterday, it was 2-0. They didn't look great, right? The defense wasn't good. Verlander's on the mound. He looked very good for 3 innings, and then they got to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, do I love their chances trailing 4-0 to a team like LA? I don't. But have they proven that they can overcome like a 3-1 deficit or 2-0 deficit? Yeah, because they've done it actually 20 times.
I just feel like, though, at some point, this Dodger bullpen, it's been bad most of this year.
It's going to get healthy.
Not only not that, but that the Padres are going to be able to take advantage of it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's interesting point.
I mean, they're getting healthy. Tanner Scott is now back, and I think
Yates
Kirby
tomorrow.
Yates is tomorrow. But their numbers are still their numbers, and
Interesting, yeah.
I just feel like over the course of this series, the Dodgers bullpen can't continue to shove against the Padres, can they?
It's a really good point. Because, the numbers would bear out that their bullpen is really susceptible.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Padres hopefully are able to do something against it. I would say you're going to have to do something against their bullpen. When I see Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, I'm kind of hoping you can get to the middle of that bullpen and chase those guys.
Yeah, and hopefully you get to the bullpen tonight in like the 5th inning, like make Blake Snell throw a lot of pitches. We've watched Blake Snell so much here. What is his kryptonite? His high pitch count.
Yep.
So get him to throw as many pitches as you possibly can get in the first 3 innings. So then he doesn't go deeper into games, because if he has a quick, 3 innings here, that's trouble.
That was the problem with running into outs the other day.
That's exactly
the problem with running into outs. And you're right. He's a guy that has so much success, but he does it throwing 22 pitches in an inning.
Mm-hmm.
And 22 times 5 is 110. He wouldn't even go 5 innings in that scenario. I'm with you. It's like, even if Snell is good, make him work. So if you get him out after 4 2/3 innings and he's good, at least you have a chance against the middle of that Dodgers bullpen. That is a huge key. Because Snell went 6 innings the other day. You got to make him work fewer than that. 4 2/3, 5 1/3, something like that.
If Snell goes 6 tonight, my guess is the Dodgers will win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's going 6, he is most likely going to be pitching well.
Yeah.
And can Darvish match that? That's a big question. So the game plan tonight, 1, when you get on base, don't run into outs. Okay. 2, make him throw a lot of pitches. They were on their way to doing that last Saturday night, but they let him off the hook, and they gave him these easy outs when early on, if you didn't get thrown out as many times as you did, that game is probably completely different. Anyway, I don't know if it is, to be honest, because Cease was awful. So maybe it wasn't, but at least maybe would have given you a better chance.
Remember as well that the Padres trailed 4-0 Saturday, 4-0 Sunday, 4-0 Monday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
1-0 Tuesday before not trailing on Wednesday and then trailing again yesterday, 2-0. They've trailed early in a ton of games recently.
Yeah.
5 of their last 6 games, they've trailed by, multiple runs early. So
if it wasn't for Fernando Tatis Jr.'s amazing catch, they would have trailed that game too.
Great point. That would be 6 consecutive games, if not for Tatis doing something that he can only do in all of the sport. Great point. All right, Jim's back page is coming up on the other side. We're with you until 6 p.m. Padres and Dodgers are 1 hour out from Petco Park in downtown San Diego at 6:40. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim. Again, SDFC back tomorrow night. They're taking on Portland at Snapdragon Stadium. First place in the Western Conference, tied for the most points in Major League Soccer with 52. You can hear the match live tomorrow at 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Your home for SDFC. Busy weekend. We got SDFC. We have Padres Dodgers. Next Thursday, San Diego State gets their season underway at Snapdragon Stadium. So busy week coming up. Cannot wait for tonight. Can't wait for tonight.
Can't wait for tonight. Can't wait for tomorrow night. SDFC, chance to clinch a playoff berth with 7 matches remaining. That's wild.
Yeah.
They're the best team in MLS. It's kind of been the most magical season you could possibly imagine for them. No one, I think, ever expected them to be this good this early. And then you have Padres Dodgers before that. 5:10 start?
On Saturday?
Yeah. So it's Padres Dodgers and then SDFC Portland Timbers 7:30.
Yeah, I think that's right. And by the way, to your point on SDFC, not only did no one expect it, MLS.com had them 15th in the Western Conference in their preview. 15th. Had them in last place. Like the day before the season.
Right.
Had
And
them in last
it's
place.
like now they're the best team in all of MLS.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy how that works. All right, so again, Padres coming up tonight. We've got a wrap-up show for you following Padres and Dodgers game 1 on YouTube. And right now, let's get to this. Real quick, 5:40 tomorrow.
5:40 tomorrow.
6:40 tonight, 5:40 tomorrow. And then,
Got
of
it.
course, Sunday, the Padres play at 1:10.
John, you remember the A-team?
Yeah, you're talking about like Morahone and Estrada and Suarez. You mean like Mr. T?
Yes, there you go.
I love that show.
Well, the A-team 1984 GMC replica van.
Oh, yeah.
Has sold in an auction for $41,000. So if you want a car,
it's a replica.
It's a replica. It works. It's an actual van, but it's a replica of the 1984 GMC Vendura van that the A-team used.
And Mr. T's van.
Yep,
That's sweet.
Mr.
Yeah, I
T's
remember
van.
that. I was a little young for it. Did you watch it on like reruns?
No, I never watched
I
it.
was even a little young for it.
No, I watched it when it came out.
When did it run from? Does the A-team run from?
I want to
push the
say
late 80s?
from no, it was early to mid.
Okay. That's why I say
Because it would have been because Mr. T was in Rocky 3 and that was 81 and A-team was right after that. So I think it would have started in like 81 or 82.
83 to 87.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
the A-team. I
Yeah.
still watch it. It's on like Pluto TV and
Yeah.
reruns and stuff.
So did you buy the van, Brent?
For 40 grand?
You think I can afford a 40,000?
40 grand.
This is one of the cheapest auction things you've ever had, and it's still way too expensive for me.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
It is, but hey, look.
But
if
a
you-
working van?
A
For an
working
80s
van,
van?
for 40 grand?
I mean, obviously, if it works, that's kind of cool.
Kind of badass.
Yeah,
Just
it's
roll
really
up to
cool.
work in the A-team van.
That is cool.
Dude, I would just do laps around the Comic-Con convention center.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone would be like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's Mr. T.
That is cool.
It's BA.
Yeah. If you want, you probably could live out of it too. I mean, the whole back
That's
here
huge.
is like, it's all taken out. So like you could make it so like you could live in it.
Oh, and they had like, what do they call those seats?
The spinning seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but-
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. You get that. Since we're going to a card show, have to put this on
Put it in.
the back page. And it's not just some random thing on the back page. This is very significant, John. Very, very significant. So a new number 1 most expensive card is now the dual logo man featuring Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
Yes, and I know how much it sold for.
It officially will take the throne as the most expensive card in the history of cards Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, because it hasn't yet sold, but they're bidding up to maybe $5 or so million.
Yeah, so the 2007 Upper Deck Logo Man Autograph 1-of-1 card features a gold NBA logo worn by Michael Jordan during the 96-97 season. Both signed by Kobe and Jordan. It's only graded a PSA 6.
But it's the only one.
So
So
one-
it doesn't
it's the
matter
only
as
one.
much, but it's the only one.
As of 2 p.m. today, the bidding reached $7.2 $1.76 million.
Wow. Dude, that is insane.
So this will be the most expensive trading card
ever sold.
Any sport, ever. It officially takes over the 2003-04 Upper Deck Collection LeBron James Gold BGS 9 signature card.
How much is that?
That used to be the top of the list. That sold for $5.2 million in 2021.
That's a lot of money, man.
This one's going to sell for close to $10 million.
It's insane.
Tomorrow night.
One of one.
That's it. And it's a PSA 6.
Right. That is weird. That's weird.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Did you bid early in that? Did you drop out at like 1.3?
Yeah, I've been checking on it during the show.
Get those credit cards ready.
But yeah. So
crazy.
There we go. The LeBron James card that I just mentioned, the Auto 10, the 2003-04 collection. It does look like that 5.2 million. That's going to sell recently, or that's going to sell soon here because that's going to be put on the market, and that's scheduled to also break a record for a LeBron James card as well.
That sports card market, it's a little scary because everything's just going up, up, up.
So are you ready for tomorrow?
Right. We are going to the West Coast Card Show in Anaheim. The thing is, I'd be ready if it was me and you, but it's me, you, and drumroll, my 6-year-old son, Jim.
Womp, womp, womp. But you can't stop Debbie Downer.
No, he's not the downer. Because the problem is he'll be like, Dad, buy this, this, and this. I'll be like, the card is $29,400. If you have $28, that card is $33,000. That box looks cool. It's $14,000, that box of cards.
So now my question is, do you have a plan for tomorrow? Because
I need to expectations.
You need to have a plan. Like I have a plan for tomorrow.
What's your plan?
I have
run away from me.
Yeah, exactly. I have 6 cards that I'm looking for. And I set a budget.
What's your budget? 14 grand?
$7,000.
No, so you're trying to spend maybe a couple $100 on some cards.
Correct.
Okay.
I set a budget. I have 6 cards I'm looking for.
Will you be able to find them at this massive card show? I would assume you can.
100%, because they're like newer cards.
But does that mean you're going to like play the price game? Like, oh, this one booth has them. I'm making up. This card's $70, and then somewhere else got it for $60.
Yes. What I'm looking for is the deals. Like, I know what the price of these cards are. I'm looking to go and find these cards in maybe a bundle. And
makes sense. Got to deal with
and ask for like, if say you have 3 cards here, and they total $120.
Say, hey, we do 100.
We'll do 100.
Yeah. I think that's I think it's a great plan.
So, and I have a couple cards I'm going to trade as well. So
many people and so much interest. I don't know what kind of deals are there to be had.
Like, I'm not looking to go and buy, a PSA 10 card that's worth $2,000. No chance in hell.
Either am I.
But am I looking to spend a little bit of money? Like, yeah, I am.
I mean, life is for living. How many card shows do we go to? Well, we've been going a lot.
We've been going to a lot.
This thing is like a card show we've been going to on steroids.
Oh, it's like the West. It's called the West Coast Card Show for a reason.
It's the biggest in the West. So
exactly,
I'm pumped. I mean, you're going to wake up early by your standards because we're going to get there.
I mean, I was up early this morning.
Why?
I don't know.
You've been waking up earlier these days.
I have been waking up earlier these days. Yeah.
What's early?
7:30, 8.
So let me get this straight though, because Erin went away for like 6 days. She comes back Wednesday night, and then Jim is like out all day the first Saturday.
Oh, dude, let me just say this.
It must have been so cringe when you were like, "Hey, by the way,
we're on the couch last night."
Oh gosh!
And I turned to her and I go, "Hey, just want to remind you, I'm going to the car show Saturday." And she gave me the biggest eye roll ever.
Oh my gosh.
She goes, "Oh, I forgot."
You're only a year into marriage.
Do you want to come?
Dude,
Dude,
you can always.
No, because if she comes, then she can see how much I'm spending on cards.
Well, just tell her those.
She just hang out with Jones all day.
Oh, she could babysit Jones.
She wants to come.
But it costs money to get in, right?
Who cares?
It's true. Yeah, my guess is she's not going to want to come.
Kristen's not going. No chance.
But yeah, it was not a fun conversation last night. Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. Catch us tonight with a wrap-up show for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Padres Dodgers coming up. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.